America with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.
Yes, sir. Or ma'am. Hey, how you doing? What's going on today? Oh, nothing. Just hanging out. How you doing? I'm doing fantastic. Too blessed to be stressed, as I told you yesterday when we preview Manchester City and we preview what might go down, what might happen. What did I say? What did I say? Now, I'm not trying to sit up here and boast, but just for a second, let me say, I told you so. We could go there, do our thing. Ange Postecoglou, I trust him wholeheartedly. I said this weeks ago as well. Ange Postecoglou will not let us get 4 L's in a row. Talk to me nicely. Talk to Ange Postecoglou nicely. I bet you wouldn't even know if you're a Standard fan, you're not a Tottenham Hotspur fan. You probably wouldn't even know half the names on the official roster for today, because you probably don't watch Academy games. But how are you doing? Welcome into episode number 106. Oh, 106. Pick up sticks. We picked up a point away at the Etihad, and what a day it was. Obviously, some hilarity ensued. Some things went our way, so to speak. I also want to shout out, honorable mention. I know we're not doing man of the match in BDE right now, but I do have to give honorable mention to my man, the crossbar. Absolutely phenomenal performance today from that crossbar. Killed it today. Jeremy Doku, oh, you want a 2-touch? Oh, the crossbar gave us a 2-touch today. You don't get that very often and not a goal from it. But hey, talk to me nicely indeed. How's everybody doing? Welcome in. Welcome in. I have a beautiful guest. I did not tag him in the title yet because it's a surprise, but he will be out very, very shortly. Look, this is a feeling inside that Kulusevski, Giovanni Lo Celso, it is time for me to apologize. And I said I wouldn't just apologize for something simple like a goal, but when Giovanni Lo Celso does that, I do have to say, here's a goal that I can get behind and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Giovanni. Thank you, Kulusevski. Kulusevski, real quick, absolutely dunked on that man. He did the LeBron James celebration afterwards. Oh my goodness. Absolutely bonkers. But big up to everybody who's here. If you're feeling good, hit the like. If you're not, that's okay. You can hit the like too. I'm not here to talk about refereeing, VAR. We could lightly glance over it, but if so facto, Jacob don't really care because we picked up a point when people told me if you play your brand of football, you will get demolished 4-1, 5-1. People predicted 6-0, 10-0s I heard. Big up real quick, Nathan the Spurs fan. I see we got a new member to the family. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you, Nathan the Spurs fan. Big up. Appreciate you being here. Look, y'all, I'm going to say what's up to y'all in the chat. I just had to say apologies for being late. I was over on This Is Football chatting with Sam. You know, I go around, win, lose, draw, spread immaculate vibes. Here, you can always count on immaculate vibes, win, lose, draw. That's a given. And we drew today. Wasn't a win, but damn, it feels so good. I said a draw would feel like a win. Now, I don't want to, before anyone says, oh, standards this, standards that, I ain't here to talk about that. What I am here to talk about is the response when your back's against the wall. These are things I talked about everywhere I went all week. This morning, I was even on Weird Tottenham TV doing a preview, which shout out Paul Hotspur Hippie for linking me up with those guys. I said, why not? The most dangerous kind of a man is a man with nothing to lose. The initial starting 11 looked like a very much attacking 11. Very much excited about that 11. I like the bench as well. You know who, no sight of him. No need to even say his name, but no sight of him. But before I start saying what's up to people in the chat, let me tell you who I do got sight of. Oh, these why does it feel like a win? I feel like we won or something. Oh my God. We could have too. We could have. Let's not forget. But just a lot of things to talk about on the pitch after the match. Jeez Louise. So who else better to bring on to the show? Welcome, everybody. How we doing, Hotspur Hippie?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man.
Live from the studios of United Spurs of America.
That's right.
We have Hotspur Hippie.
I'm in your basement. I've just, it's thanks for putting me up here, but I thought I'd deck it out as your room. Hey, man, I really enjoyed you on Real Tottenham TV. I was gonna I was going to gate crash it, but I thought, nah, you and Ash were doing such a good job on it. It was real fun, man.
It was a lot of fun. You did send me a very fun text message after my prediction, because on We Are Tottenham TV, the pre-match build-up, I said my prediction, my goal scoring prediction is a 3-3 draw.
Yeah.
I felt like it was going to be an end-to-end affair where both teams are going to have glory in front of net, some more than others. But hey, when you're in a shootout, Paul, you know this in the Wild West, you just got to shoot more than you're shot at, my friend. Get that thing out, boy. Come on now. Woo. Real quick before we keep going, there's over 70 of y'all, close to 80 across all three platforms. Make sure you are hitting a like, subscribe, all that fun jazz. I will be adding the Hotspur Hippie into the title very shortly. And big up to whoever's smashing the hearts. I see you. And I'm going to send hearts your way, my friend. Big up to you. I wonder, can I make the hearts? I did it once. Someone, there it is.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, you don't get that everywhere, do you? Well, you probably do if they have an Apple computer, because apparently
Let
that's
me
the new
try.
thing Apple's doing. No, that didn't work. No,
nothing.
no.
Nothing.
That might be why I'm getting the yellows, because I'm flipping off the camera so much. I'm wondering. Let's see if that is the
No,
case, because I
you know,
stopped flipping off the camera for a while to see if that helped.
You know what I'm wondering, man? I mean, is there any other team left that people say we can't play this football against? I think we've done it now. It's like Liverpool's the last one, isn't it? Oh, we beat them at home anyway. So, you know, you can't play it this way. We're going to get beaten. Ange is naive. We've got to have more game management. You know what I really loved about the game, man, was when at 2-2, we were going for the win, and it cost us. We went down 3-2, but you know what? We stuck to our guns, and Kulu bundled that man off the ball to get it in the back of the net. It was brilliant. Brilliant.
I wouldn't even say he bundled that man. He went up. I'm going to pull up a picture, and while you're talking, I'm going to pull up some pictures. I have some new pictures that I want to add to the ever-growing library of just, I don't want to say monstrosities, but I want to say absolute immaculate things. Kulusevski dunking on the man that they chose to replace their $90 million center back. They brought Ake on and replaced their $90 million center back, Josko Vardiol, whom I highly appreciate. You probably heard me talk about him last year. He got absolutely dunked on.
Kulu was a beast in that, wasn't he?
Absolute beast. Kulu, I'm done. I've even publicly, I'm done being like, I know his role now, and it is not as a winger. Now, granted, his goal came as a winger, but I think the way he was working that game, I just love he brings such a good physical presence, I think, in his ability to, one, win the ball for us in defensive positions, and then two, creatively help us link forward. I mean, the ball to Sonny on the first goal, absolutely immaculate.
Oh.
But before we keep going, you know what's even sweeter than two? Ooh, you know what's sweeter than two, Paul? 3. And that's the number of goals we scored, and that's the number of people you're about to be seeing on this program.
Ooh.
Let's welcome in the one and only
Yes, I was hoping it'd be bloody Cuba, man.
Look
yes,
at that.
man.
What
Look at his happy little face.
Look at that.
We've got to have a little bit of sort of crowing from the rooftops, haven't we?
Fuck yeah, man.
I mean, it was a draw. Fair enough. We didn't win, but it feels like you said, Jacob, it feels like it, doesn't it? Under the circumstances.
I don't want to quote a cliche song, but I am walking on sunshine. Whoa. My son and my family were victims to what they thought was a very upsetting moment for me twice, because the second, actually, I mean, the first goal, I didn't react like amazingly crazy, because it was just,
I went nuts, man. It's like it was 3:35 a.m. and when Son did that, I'm thinking, oh shit, the neighbours.
well, see, here's where I was when that son goal went. Was my son, I just brought him out to the living room. I was starting to make breakfast for everybody. My wife was doing some yoga in the other room, and like it happened, and I was like, yeah, woohoo, like jump in the room, because like I've noticed if I react how I initially want to react, it makes my son cry, and he gets really upset. He gets like, he cries like he thinks something's wrong. I don't know. So I've tried to alter the way, and I turn into like this Mario Luigi, yahoo, woo-hoo-hoo, like everything's great, but I'm like fucking, but I don't want to show my son that because that's not mimicking good behavior, I would say, for a young lad. So I'm like, and on the inside, I run to the other room, and I'm like, and I just scream, and then I come back into the living room. It's been a good. It was a great time.
Previous seasons, it would have been good training for him, crying about Spurs, but it's not that way now. We're turning a new chapter here.
We played our shittiest team against the hardest opposition at their place, and look what happened when all was saying you can't do it, and we did, and yeah, what a result, man! What a result.
What I'm saying is, I was told so many things. I was told this. Paul Kuva, we've been told lots and lots of things throughout Ainge Postecoglou's very short tenure. But real quick, before we keep going, I'm having too much of a good time that I need to hang on. I'm only one drink into the party. I'm
just one as well. It's 10 a.m. here, and I've decided it's time to.
Hey, it's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's almost 5 o'clock here, Paul, but it is 5 o'clock in Dallas, Texas. So there you go. You're technically in United States because look at your set.
Oh yeah,
you're in the studios of United Spurs of America.
El Paso. Sorry, man.
Yeah, you forgot about that. Real quick, let me shout some people out. Chris.
Sorry, just before that, I was going to say before I forget it again. There was a point in the match where we took a corner and it found its way out to Lo Celso at the edge of the box. And second match running, he has caught the ball so immaculately well. I thought, my God, that's going to be goal of the season coming in there. But it got deflected just wide.
I think
anybody else thought that was going in at the time? Because it's just that would have summed up the game for me. It was, when we do get the chances, take them.
I thought Haaland's two sitters would have gone in as well, but we're in his head. We're in Haaland's head. He can't do it against Tottenham Hotspur. Twat. Big lummox.
Yeah, absolutely. Some funny photos of him after. Anyway, sorry, Jake.
There's some absolute. I had to change the thumbnail. First it was Kulu celebrating his goal, but then I was scrolling through Twitter and I was like, no, there's some absolutely fantastic photos. I do want to shout some people out in the chat real quick. I want some YouTube members and stuff. Look, there's 100 of y'all across all three platforms. So first of all, big up yourself right now. Make sure you are hitting the like and subscribe. I will be putting the channels in the description in one moment. But there's been some photos making the rounds and there's one that I do want to bring up because it made me feel. I liked it. Well, there's two. So specifically, I'm going to show you the first one, and then I'm going to show you, because I was on This Is Football earlier, and there's a City fan. His name is Hamza. He's an absolute hilarious person. I think he's a national treasure. If you've ever seen Hamza, when he speaks, I can't help but smile. So this is the original meme that I saw, and you probably know it as the screaming cat lady, and Erling Haaland's face is blended so well. But then this one, it's got me in it. It's got Hamza in it because it was an absolute fun time over there on This Is Football with the Sam and everybody. So I want to say big up and shout out for that. Big up Chris Peters as well. Member of the 10-inch club. How are you doing, Chris Peters? Good to see you in the house. Look, it's been lonely lately on YouTube because people have been down and kind of upset with things, and the injuries have kind of hobbled not only the first team, but I think at least this YouTube channel specifically, I think some people don't want to watch or talk about sad stuff, and I understand that. But look, I do want to say, wherever you are, however you are, know that I appreciate you being here at this very time, if you heard my voice say that. So big up to the over 100 people in the house, tapping in on a Sunday evening after a 3-3 draw with Manchester City away at the Etihad, because honestly, who else would do it for you, right? Arsenal fans are even nice to us right now. They're saying thank you, appreciate you. People talking a little bit nicer to us, and that's all I've been asking for this season is don't have expectations for us. Don't put these, outlandish goals upon such a fresh thing that we're doing. Just talk to us nicely, because quite frankly, you kind of have to. And You know what? City, when you ask any Premier League fan, any casual fan, you're saying, who's your best bet to win the league? I would say 9.9 of them would say Manchester City, unless they're a crazy Arsenal fan who believes that they have a shot. Yeah. You like that one, Paul? A little side jam. But big up Chris Peters in the house. Big up Scott M, Drunk Vigo. I see Hansi G, Nick Brown. Good to see you. Caption Grandma, the Red Armenian. That is an Arsenal fan saying, I told you I predicted a draw. I think you were hoping for that, as was I, and glad to see the stars could align for us. Spurs GCTV, how are you doing? Ash, good to see you. I guess it would be morning time for you, getting close to morning time. How are you doing? Faisal's in the house. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Peter Aga, James Paratrooper. I see Chang. Chang, how are you doing? Good to see Chang in the house every single time. Good morning to you as well, because he's, I believe, in the same time zone as you, Paul, or there and abouts.
Near enough. I saw Ash there. I just Ash, how did you meet Aussie R dealers in the end? How did that go?
And Ledley King. Yeah, Ledley King and our other ideas. Real quick, let me do this because I've just noticed. There you go. I don't want to cover Kuva's smile. What are we doing here? This is a celebration stream. What's going on here?
I was going to say, but I didn't want to do a Corey Feldman and, like on stage say, turn the lights on, make Kuva's face bigger. You idiot.
But look, let's just start with that first goal. Kuva, I'm going to throw it to you. Brian Hill, make of it his total performance what you will, which I'm one of the first to go in and tell you Brian Hill was some butt cheeks. But he was. But that moment, we just needed that moment for him to do a little pirouette on the ball, and he did make it pirouette. He went, excuse. I don't know who it was, ankle. He took somebody's ankles, found Kulusevski. Kulusevski then finds Heung-min Son in transition, and I don't know who was running him. I think it was with Brendan Johnson, who was running alongside with him, which he did a great job keeping up his run, thus pulling that other center back to create that space for Son. So I want to give credit to everybody. Everybody deserve a little bit of the smackety on the butt cheek, if I'm honest, because just a great work team goal. I think all of our goals were they technically scored twice. Heung-min Son was out there gifting them one because he's just that kind of a guy. He's so nice to Manchester City.
Yeah, hey, who predicted Heung-min Daddy scoring at both ends? Oh yeah,
you did.
I'm the real.
Take a bow.
Yeah, I think last night we managed to turn a lot of people around to getting positive about the game today, didn't we? We're coming into it. I mean, Jacob, I've never seen looking so down in the dumps with
yesterday's show, Kuva. Right? Yeah, the first half hour to an hour, I was like, "Come on, Kuva, help me! I'm drowning here because I'm looking for positive." And then you and I in the chat, we were all just like, "You know what? Fuck this! Why not? Why not? Like, who's to tell me?" And then we started to get amping each other up, and I was like, "Yo, Kuva, I'm getting to the point in the show where it's like, hey, fuck it."
I saw the bit where your opinion changed, and I just said, "Hey, we've got Son in the team. We can score goals if we get it to him." And you just suddenly you lit up, and you thought that's hit the right part.
That's all you gotta do is remind me. Heung-min Dad is on the team. We will be okay. And you know what? He got a goal, he got an assist, and an own goal. So he had a little interesting hattie of sorts, but nonetheless.
I thought good contender for man of the match as well. I thought Sonny. I thought he was excellent throughout. Anyway, talking of Hill, I'm not going to change my opinion of him. I don't think he's a Premiership footballer. I really don't. But got to give him credit where it's due. That was a fantastic little turn and ball out of Kulusevski. It literally took so many players out of the game so quickly.
He had 2 or 3 really good dribbles, and that was it.
Yeah, that's the trouble. That's what I was expecting. But am I being a bit harsh there? Maybe. He's up against Kyle Walker in that game. He was never going to come out on top on that little contest. Very few people would. In fact, I would argue we probably would have struggled if we'd been playing constantly trying to look for that long ball over the top. Because him and Gvardiol would have eaten it up. But Brian Hill, he showed he's got talent. There's no doubt. Never doubted that he has some footballing ability. It's just he just doesn't seem to be suited to this league. I don't see him being the sort of player where you just go, strengthen him up, fatten him up a bit so he can take a few hits. I think if you do that, you lose the little twinkle-toed, fast, fleet of foot player that you've got there. I think it'd be a completely different kettle of fish then, and not the same. I think he just needs to play in the Spanish league, to be honest. That really does.
He's got
him.
some good techies. But at the end of the day, good techies doesn't win you shit. At the end, you have to have the whole package. And look, I did text. I was talking with Michael. Michael and I, we still, for people who were wondering, Michael and I still text during every match, like we usually. That's just kind of. It doesn't matter if I ain't spoken to him in weeks. It'll just be as, hey, look at that, hit the thumbs up. It'll just be as soon as I see him. You know what I mean? I want to say this. Kulusevski, Giovanni Lo Celso. Should I do it individually or should I do it as a package deal? Because for me, I
think you've insulted them enough. I think you've got to do it individually.
You think I've actually insulted them all? You would claim that here live in the studios.
Oh no, me too. Me too as well. Me too as well.
Yeah, see, I left this comment up from Captain Grandma says, "Aha! Now we have all 3 GLC non-believers on screen." Look, y'all. What is it? Is he the baller that we all got? Because when he did the loan, I remember when we bought him on loan, I was happy about it. But then shortly thereafter, I was like, "Wow, I don't like this guy." And then he was never available. And then whenever I did see him, I didn't think that he played for the badge. And that was always my gripe with him. I said, hey, if he can do this or that, it remains to be seen. A lot of people didn't perform well under Jose Nuno and Conte. But, I mean, that's a long time that he's been here, right? So let's keep a spade a spade. Like, a long time of non-productivity does not get all of a sudden outweighed by 2 good performances, 2 really good. Today was very good by Giovanni Lo Celso in the sense, like, he made that goal. It was a well-worked team goal, but then at the end, the final product, the last smush, last blending of the smoothie, so to speak, was Giovanni Lo Celso. 100%.
Wasn't it? I mean, having said all that, we did suck a lot of arse in the first half. I mean, I was thinking,
we were getting fogged up. We were getting poured up. Yes.
I was thinking, oh no, this is going to be a long bloody morning. This.
They kept knocking, man. They just kept shot out the crossbar.
Even though we were playing like shit, we still kept the Angels playing. We didn't. They were trying, you know. There was just the technical stuff. Their heads were letting them down, but we didn't start hoofing the ball long or collapsing into our own penalty area. And I think that really paid dividends for the second half, because the second half, I think Ange put a bit of a rocket up them to play, just get out there and play. But it wasn't like they were playing totally against his wishes in the first half. It's just that they were a bit shit or nervous or whatever it was. And man, the second half, we had City fucking rattled. We had them rattled, man. You see the sooks they were so unhappy when they left. All the fans were up in arms. No, the referee should have let Grealish go. Well, you should have scored more goals, you bunch of twats, and you didn't. You know, it's like us against Villa last week. We didn't take our chances. City didn't take their chances.
And I remember having the conversation last week against Villa as well. I said, fair enough, we lost fair and square.
Absolutely,
if you don't take the chances, you don't deserve the win.
They scored 2, we scored 1.
You know what's funny is another reason to be thankful we have Ange Postecoglou and not a man like Erik ten Hag. You know what he said in his post-match? Well, we did score a goal. It was just offside, and if it wasn't, it would have been 1-1. And I thought about that. Imagine Ainge coming out after that Aston Villa match and being like, well, you know, Son did have a hat trick, lest we forget. They were all offsides, but he did get a hat trick. It's like,
you know, what? You mentioned Ten Hag there, and something I'm noticing I watched Man City lose against, I don't know, who were they playing? I've forgotten. But anyway, it looks like...
Who were you asking about?
Just a comment about Ten Hag, and you know, I think
they played Newcastle.
That was it. I think he's a bit of James. I know you've been saying it, and I've been saying it in different words, but he is a fake manager because they've got no plan. You can see that Manchester United have got no style of play. There's no heart to them. It's like Ten Hag he's just dropped all his football principles out the window. And that's never ever going to work. Whereas Ange,
he did say the other day, Ten Hag did say the other day, he's like, I'm not playing Ajax style. I'm not playing Ten Hag style. I'm trying to play the Manchester United style. And I was
Well, he's
like,
a
what a
fucking idiot.
fraud. What an
What an
absolute
idiot.
transparent, non-existent manager. To
No,
me,
that's
Yeah, he's just
ridiculous.
completely out of his depth, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas you get Ange Postecoglou, Mr. Naive. Oh, how will he go in the Premier League? Because he's only managed in Scotland and Japan and Australia. Sticking to your guns, man. That's half the battle. With you've got to. I mean, you've got to have a big set of nuts on you to stick with what right or wrong. You're just going to stick with your plan no matter what. And there's us busted in the arse team, and look what it's doing at the moment. I mean, fucking hell.
I'll tell you what, if we had gone in at halftime 4-1 down, which was well possible, we could have. If we had, I still would have agreed with what we were doing.
Absolutely, man.
If you are trying to implement a style of play from building from the back, you've got to learn some painful lessons along the way.
Yep.
When Pep took over at City, they were all over the place at the back as well doing it. It took them a whole season to get to grips with it. A little bit longer with some players. And you look at them noisy lot down the road that are getting so full of themselves again. Remember those seasons when they're finishing 8th and trying to play out from the back, and it's absolutely awful and costing them goals.
the first half was absolutely awful playing out of the back.
To their credit, they stuck with it and they got better at it.
Yeah.
That's all we're doing right now. So
well, I don't want to sit here on this day, the day of all joyous days, talk anything positive about Arsenal personally, Kuva. I know you want to.
Let's have a proper history lesson as well. Then they went from 8th to 8th, and then they challenged for the top 4 and failed. Then they challenged for the title and failed. So it's still funny.
That's a good point. Okay, Kuva, you were such a great. You were like a beaming light. You were just shining such light on great parts that it's good because people coming at Ange Postecoglou very early on after 3 losses saying, now here's going to be 4. It's absolutely 4, and then 5, and then 6. And it's like, bro, y'all are rolling down the hill with no one able to stop you with any of your. To me, I just think that everyone needed to take a dose of chill out. Look, I don't get too. It was the same thing when we were winning a lot. I think we all needed a little dose of chill out. We all got going a little. When you're running downhill, you start going at a speed in which you're like, maybe I can keep this up, and then you realize, hang on, we're going too fast now, and you end up falling. But we've now gotten up, and we've continued our journey still. So I like to see that.
And I think with this is like the hardest point of the season. I think playing Man City away when you're down on numbers. Next week we've got Stratford FC at the Allianz. I know it's at our stadium, isn't it? And then I think after Newcastle we've got a fairly doable run of fixtures right the way through till April, and then we've got a bit of a hard run into the season. But we've played Arsenal away, we've played Man City away, we've played Liverpool at home.
Remember, we haven't played anyone good. We haven't played.
We haven't played anyone yet.
Told. Real quick, shout out David Shear, member for 2 months, using his member chat to say, awesome. I've been saying Kulu in the guts. Not sure if that's a euphemism or if that's a reference to playing more centrally, which to be quite honest, I absolutely adore him in that position. I thought he bossed it, brings a certain physicality to the position. The same things we are applauding him for doing as a winger, he's doing those in there as a midfielder. And I like that more. And that provides, I was saying this on Weird Tottenham TV, that when the lineup came out, I said, I'm so glad to see Kulusevski moving inside, because what that does is now Brennan Johnson is on the right in his natural position. And look what he absolutely turned a $90 million center back around. He made a man do like a little ballerina. That's what he did, Kuva. And so to me, I think by moving him there, it shifts all the other parts. Now in the second half, it was a little bit different because we obviously brought Højbjerg in for Hill, but without getting along too much further, Ash did also send a super chat in. So big up to Ash. Nice. Says, I did meet Ozzy and Ledley. Ozzy said, quote, let's take a question from the beautiful lady. And I've been walking on cloud since. Oh, look at that. What a charm. Yeah, Ozzy. Man. Oh, he still got it. Big up Ozzy. Big up Ash. Big up Ledley. Every single types of goats. Absolute goats. Thank you so much for the super chat, Ash. And I'm absolutely jealous. I would love to be addressed as the beautiful person over there by any any Spurs legend, let alone Ozzy.
If I met Ozzy, he could call me a beautiful lady any day.
He can call me whatever he wants. Yeah. Big up Chris Peters. No, you've been supporting the channel for a long time financially, so of course, man, you can help run this chat. Big up being a mod. Big up everyone in the chat. I still see all of y'all. There is a lot of people, so I can't individually pull up everyone's chat. I want to keep the conversation going with these two gentlemen that I have, because honestly, the party is immaculate. Real quick, I will say, if you haven't had a vote in the poll yet, there's over 115 of y'all. There's 87 votes in the poll, and I want to know where everyone's at after the 3-3 draw. 37% says Kulu and Gio need more love from fans, and maybe that's where we need to go with the. I surely do, but don't call me Shirley. 32% says new Ainge wouldn't let 4 L's happen. Now that is what I predicted. 16% says amazing football and haha Holland. And another 15% says City bottled it and laughed my ass off at Holland. Paul, you chuckled at the Holland bit. What did you make? The man had a primetime opportunity. Ben Davies is 10 feet away from him, and he said, shoot the ball. And
it was almost one of those ones where I could see the side, netting ripple before he kicked it. I thought, this is a goal here, isn't it? But no, we rode our luck. Like there was one where his Vicario made a bit of a hospital pass, but he redeemed himself with a fantastic full stretch save. But so I just wanted to say is that, you know, apart from the style of football and the way we are and the nice vibe, Ange has also done something that the previous 3 or 4 managers couldn't do, and he's really made the troubled apples in the barrel unwelcome. Like seeing that team list come out and seeing Ange would rather put in 2 goalkeepers than Eric Dyer. I mean, that was just, that was beautiful to see. And, you know, he's read it where other people haven't. You know, Mr. You know, he doesn't know, you know, he's just an Australian Greek guy. What does he know about football? He's figured people out really quickly. And, you know, we're going to be so much stronger for that.
I think the big part of Ange's story that always sticks with me is he learned from Puskás, for God's sake.
I know, dude. Hey.
You do not get a better footballer than that.
No.
He's one of the all-time megastars of world football.
I heard when you know, when they go, you know, flying around the country to play opposition in Australia, he said that Ange said that other players, if they were talking to Puskás, they'd always, you know, say, "Oh, what was it like doing this and what was that?" Whereas Ange was always talking tactics with him. So in this sort of situation, you know, and so he's always learning. But you're right, Puskás. I mean, fucking hell, man, you can't get better, really, can you?
Exactly. You know, even managers like Mourinho, they learn from someone, don't they? Mourinho spent all that time with Bobby Robson, for example.
Yeah.
And you know, where did Pep learn all of his stuff? He didn't just like spontaneously come out with it himself, did he? He spent years at Barcelona learning from some of the best managers in the world. And you know, that's just the way it works, isn't it? So if you've been around in that environment, it doesn't guarantee you're going to be great yourself. I mean, look at Gary Neville, but it does at least give you a good chance at it, doesn't it? If you've got absorbed all that information from a great, you've got something there that you can fall back on when you need a bit of information to go with your idea of tactics and how to put it all together. So I'm loving what I see so far. I mean, like many of our fans, I didn't really know much about Ange Postecoglou when he arrived. I was aware that he was at Celtic and they were going great guns, but I thought, is that more the league or the manager? But the more I heard and the more I watched, I thought, you know what? Celtic aren't just playing dominantly; they're playing great football. And then, so as soon as we got linked with him, I thought, yeah, that I'm all in. I'm just all in. I don't care now. This is it. Straight on the train. As soon as you saw pre-season what we were doing with these colossal goal attempt tallies, you know, we're going up like 24 to 30 shots a game.
Yeah,
you know, even
that's it to come for us, man. You know, we you know, this is just the beginning.
As soon as we get this settled squad that's been put together over the next 2 to 3 years, wow!
I saw so many headlines this week saying No. Spurs have got to adapt. They're playing Manchester City now. You know, they have to be more pragmatic. They
Not
have
even
to be
just
more
headlines, Paul. I was on, I like to make the rounds on other people's channels. I
Yeah,
like to
you're a
share the
whore.
sugar
You're a dirty
when
hoe,
it comes to
internet hoe.
what
Give
Jacob's
me
got to
clout.
say. I don't hold it all just here for United Spurs America. What you will get here is the best version of me, but you will get elsewhere the shameless
You get
version of me.
the fake chameleon.
I would say the shameless version, the more boisterous. And I mean, look, I told everybody, you better hope we don't win versus City. You better, I said, you better pray we don't beat them, but you better hope we don't get the draw as well, because I'm going to be back to shameless Jacob again, and that's a great place for me to be. But make up everybody in the chat. Make sure you are hitting that like. I did put the link for Hotspur Hippie and Three Spurs Boys in the chat, so make sure you are subscribed over there if you don't mind, real quick. But let's keep it moving. Look, there are some more things that I did want to talk about in regards to just this starting 11. Are we going to take, real quick, before we can move on, are we going to all, Paul, are you going to say sorry to Giovanni Lo Celso? Is it time to say sorry to him? Or does he need to do this for what I said was, give me 10 games of that, and I will then flip the script? But I'm still just so happy that he scored that damn goal. And
he scored 2 bangers in 2 games, and I'm not a fan of him, but I mean, shit.
What are we doing then, Paul? What are we saying? Are you apologizing? Are you?
I'm not apologizing yet. I don't think. I'm not apologizing yet, I'm afraid, because he has let us down so many times in the past. But I'm seeing redemption. That's all I can say. And if he keeps doing it, then yeah. No. Actually, no. What am I doing? You're only as good as your last performance. I am humbly very sorry, Gio, and welcome to Tottenham, son.
There you go, Kuva. You're up next.
Stole the word I was going to use. It's redemption. I mean, Sean Butler and I, over the past few seasons, we've disagreed on all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, one thing we've always agreed on is we believe in redemption. Players and managers and even chairmen, they're all capable of doing that. But you've got to start somewhere. And from what I've seen, from my opinion of Lo Celso, prior to the last couple of games, it was being poor. I didn't think he should stay.
Oh, well, I zoomed you in because I thought you were gonna.
What I've seen in the last couple of days, I think there could be a future for him yet. There, it's been good, but you can't just be good for 2 games. You've got to keep it going. If he keeps it going, hey, I'm on board. Let's have some more of it. He's been very good for us the last 2 games. I've noticed, and I'm acknowledging it, and I'm hoping he keeps going, because we need him, and we need him in this kind of form as well. See if he can rub off some of this redemption on Basuma since he's come back from the last suspension, because he hasn't been very good, has he? So Lo Celso is pushing himself up in the pecking order at the moment, quite rightly so. So's Kulusevski. We've got a nice starting of a nice shape to the team, considering all the injuries we've got. I think when Romero comes back, it's going to get better. And I think when we start seeing some of the other big hitters and that come back, Van der Ven, Maddison in the new year, Benson Cora at some point.
You're only talking about another month, man. You know, it's getting closer.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, unfortunately, we might be losing a few more points before then. But
oh well.
I like the way we're playing.
I really don't give a shit, man. You know,
this was City today, wasn't it? I mean, let's face it. We knew we had to ride our luck, so we did. But then you've got to have a bit of heart, a bit of passion, a bit of sense of adventure to go with it, and we did show that. So I thought we would deserved our 3 goals and the point out of it. Why not? It's up to City. They weren't good enough, were they?
No, and like even. Like I think Royale and well, especially Royale, he didn't have a good game, but at least he was trying to do the Ange stuff, you know. And it wasn't like a total dog shit performance or anything like that. But he was just, a bit laboured on the ball. But he wasn't, and I think that's why Dyer is completely on the outer, because when he played in the Wolves game, he was the usual Eric Dyer, and it's like everything Ange is trying to do, Dyer was just ignoring. So at least Emerson was trying, even though he was, his ability was lacking. So you know, I can't go even too hard on him and the likes of Ben Davies or even Brian Hill. That's what we've got at the moment, and at least they did the best they could, I thought, you know, and you know they were part of a team that got 1 point at the hardest venue in the world, well, probably in the world actually, you know, and our fans up there were bloody loud as well. I heard them a lot more than the Man City fans, especially in the second half, and that's what I'm loving about this season.
You know what there wasn't in our away section? An empty seat. You know what there was amongst the rest of the stadium? Empty seats. I think that
drifting
speaks
off, were
volumes.
they?
Yeah, I've seen photos of lots of empty seats there, and they were also leaving early, so it's quite funny actually.
There's always empty seats at the Etihad anyway. They can never fill the place out.
It's hilarious that their manager is always begging for, please come. Well, we'll make it fun. We'll play real open.
They're just not
They'll
big
play
enough.
real. Did y'all hear the quotes before the match? He was like, "Don't worry, everybody. You want to come see this match? They're gonna play open. We're gonna play open. It's gonna be a lot of fun." And it was a lot of fun. I would have just loved to see.
Hey, fuck it! I'm going to the Hacienda instead. Fuck City.
City. That was a pretty good. Shout out It's LB and L Nobbins as well, some city content creators. They kind of have that same, they say the same thing. They say city the same way. It's kind of funny. I do have some bookmarks here, some things that I do feel it's only right to bring up some things that our leader, Maestro in charge, some of the things that he said. But you know what?
He seemed pretty happy after the game. I mean, he just doesn't put a foot wrong, you know. He really doesn't. The way, even when we're playing badly, he doesn't single players out. He always says it's we, not they. These are players. He's
These
dude,
club,
he's
these
good.
players.
These are play. It's unacceptable.
It's unacceptable. This club, this player. You can change the manager. It won't change the team. Paul O'Keefe says, quote, and this is an Ainge Postecoglou quote, I said to them at halftime, whatever fallout or bad outcome there is, I'll take the responsibility. I'm the one that's putting them out there. Let's at least show a little bit of conviction about the kind of football team we want to be.
Brilliant.
That's what he said at halftime. Honestly, I need a change of clothing when I read this kind of quote. Now, I can't wait till I'm laid up in my recliner. Late at night, I have the headphones on, and I'm listening to Ainge Postecoglou speak on this match. And honestly, when he speaks, that's when my belief came in immediately, before he had even proved anything. Said the way this man speaks, you can't help but just, and rivals hate us for it. They hate Ainge Postecoglou because he speaks and they start fucking believing what he's saying. They're like,
I know, man.
Oh no,
it's infectious,
no, he's a
isn't it?
fraud.
And he's always
the
been
media.
like this, like-
The media is making me love him. It's not, and it's funny to see like fans who didn't want him at first, and then also rival fans who want to critique him immensely in his first 3 months of a job. It's like a job in the Premier League specifically. Well, Paul, what were we going to say?
Well, he's always been like this. I mean, I'm sure you and other people have seen that interview with Craig Foster when he was Australian youth team coach. It's like 20 odd years ago. And that was one of the first times I saw him on the TV. I saw that live. And that sort of story was like the Australian youth team had a string of bad results, basically because every other team in the world gets together with camps and stuff like that and does a bit of training, whereas Australia is so disorganised, they just throw the youngsters together and in and just take them basically on match day and win a match. And even though it wasn't a good side, Ange absolutely refused to betray the players. He stuck up for them, and you could just see back then that he does take responsibility for all his actions, because he's right. He's the ones that telling them to do it. And if it don't work out, he shields them, man. And that, I think, alleviates a lot of pressure. They feel freer to have a go, knowing that, when it comes to press conference time, like in the Chelsea game. Remember in the Chelsea game, in the press conference afterwards, he didn't get sucked into talking about the high line and all that. He was straight away talking about VAR, how it's ridiculous. He completely fucking bamboozled the press. He distracted them over here away from what we did. That's the kind of guy he is. He understands football and what makes football players great and a great team.
I love that.
Absolutely.
I want to share this as well. Kulusevski, 21-22, goal at the Etihad. 22-23, goal at the Etihad. 23-24, goal at the Etihad. Is Kulusevski inevitable at the Etihad? Is that what we're learning here? Because Son's already been inevitable, and I was worried that they're trying to reverse their little hoodoo voodoo about the Heung-min Son team. Excuse me, when they called us the Harry Kane team, and then Son scored in the on him on the Champions League and said, "Do you know who I am?" And I just love that clip, that celebration of him in the camera saying to Pep, "Do you know who I am?" Well, I'm sure as fuck he knows who Heung-min Son is, and now who Dan Kulusevski is. He joins Danny Murphy as the only player to score away against the reigning champions in 3 consecutive seasons.
Well, that's a steam company, isn't it?
Well,
I like what Pep said after the game when they were trying to, they were asking him about, the referee's decision. He says, "I'm not going to do a Mikel Arteta."
Oh, that was absolutely hilarious when he said that.
Brilliant. I think Mikel Arteta might be one of the most hated managers in the, when the managers all get together.
That's his guy.
Yeah, well, that was pretty damning, wasn't it?
He just said, "I ain't no bitch," and I kind of liked it. Ainge Postecoglou on whether Tottenham may have got away with one through Simon Hooper's decision. Yeah, I guess so, mate.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah,
well,
I guess so.
So what?
Well, that's what it is, yeah.
That's football, eh?
Absolutely hilarious. Let's see what else. I start all these things that I just saw along the way, and I thought, why not just share them with you all? Postecoglou on Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, another player I want to talk about because obviously he comes on in the second half for Brian Hill, and then we move into a more familiar shape. As far as Kulusevski on the right up top and Brendan Johnson on the left there. Postecoglou says, quote, "I thought Pierre was excellent in the second half. His experience out there, I thought we just, as a group, had a lot more conviction about our football, just passing it and not second-guessing ourselves and being hesitant with our passes like we did in the first half. Look, I'm on the touchline and everything outside looks easy, but when you're out there and you're facing a world-class team in a venue where you don't give up too many things, it's understandable in many respects. But at the same time, as I said to them at halftime, whatever fallout or bad outcomes there are, I'll take the responsibility." Look, that leads exactly into to what we were just talking about.
I want to go out and kick a ball for Ange myself now, just reading this.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Fucking yes.
It's like, I don't know. Every time he speaks, he just validates my existence. He validates my thoughts, my feelings, my presumptions about my club. He just constantly validating my convictions in existence. And to me, it's just such a breath of fresh air, man.
It's
because
great.
It's like he says the honest truth, and it's not like he's trying to befool me. Whereas before, I felt like there was. Is that a word?
It is now, man. I like it.
Fuck it. There you go. Man. Trying to befool
Fuck
me.
it. We got a point of Man City. You can make up any word. Fucking word you want, man.
I want a word for whatever. Is there a word for when people tell you, "Oh, if you play your brand of football, you're going to lose 4-1"? They told us that quite a few times.
Quite a lot.
It's actually Man City this time.
I'm
you
sure
have
people
to.
are still saying it. We could have been 5-0 down at the end of the first half. I bet people are saying that.
You know what's funny? I did hear some people saying some things.
Really?
It's funny.
Well, we weren't, were we? So fuck off.
I heard Paul. One of my favorite things was the fact that he brought Højbjerg on at times showed that he was willing to go out there and sit back and lose, and that also whenever he brought Skip on, he was basically making a non-attacking substitution. Now, I would pressure that statement or that view with.
Well, how
Are
many
you saying
other subs
Iago
do we have on the
Santiago,
bench
Iago Santiago just came back from a hamstring injury in the academy, if you didn't know, and he was out for quite some time. So he would be rusty, and then B, we don't know what the fuck that looks like in the Premier League. And then also Alejo Veliz, we kind of know what that looks like. It's not too much of an impact at this juncture in his life, but hey, he's a young kid. Richarlison just came back from pubis. They said, hey, we maybe got 5-10 minutes out of the pubis maximus, and. And you know what? He came on and he did his job.
Exactly. So what other subs was he supposed to use when players were getting tired? And you know what?
I don't know, man. But apparently bringing on a player who's on the bench to help you see out a game for some reason doesn't sit well with folks. I really don't understand.
I'm not Skip's biggest fan at all, but he stopped the Man City attack right near the death. And if it was worth him just being on the pitch just for that. He did well.
Who's News says Skip started the move for the third.
Is that right? I can't remember.
I'll have to
It's
watch it.
always
Honestly,
okay.
I was at before, whenever we went down 3-2, I'm not going to lie, I did kind of slump in my couch a little bit. My demeanor
what the
did
fuck are we
change.
supposed to do? Bring on, take off who was getting knackered? Brendan Johnson and put on Fraser Foster? Because that's all. I mean, we had no one on the bench.
Kuva, I want to bring you in on this conversation in regards to the substitutions. I was starting off with a quote from Ainge talking about Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. First and foremost, what did you think about him? I thought, obviously, we looked a lot different. The quote goes on to say how we looked different in the build-up play. Our passing was more confident, and that Pierre was a great component of that. But it was a team effort as far as riding that ship. Because in the first half, Emerson passes, Basuma passes, we're going out of bounds, we're going to City players, we're moving in ways and manners in which we don't want to see, and that you shouldn't be doing versus what some would say the eventual Premier League champions and contenders for Champions League champions. But nonetheless, I'm just throwing those two little caveats out there because, as well, when you beat a club that everyone lauds as they are the best in the world, and myself included, I've said, hey, they're probably favorites to win Champions League and Premier League. I predict them to win the Premier League anyway. But look, I think we did the whole league, the whole world a favor because we've made it more interesting. If they would have gotten the 3 points, it would have been like, okay, they're still right on their tail. This is the same story we saw last year. We were still moving like a farmer's league because Arsenal, we all know, is going to bottle it eventually.
Yeah.
But at this juncture, not only does it keep City a little bit to a point of where it makes things more interesting for top 3, but it also keeps us in the race for the top 4 in this conversation because, look, if we drop 4, drop 5, drop 6, like people were predicting, Spurs fans included, that would have been a dark position for us to really be in personally.
I'll just nod, shall I? Yeah, that was a lot to take in for just one question, but yeah, start on.
Yeah, I'm really good at hosting a show like that, Kuva.
Yeah.
Let's start with Højbjerg. Yeah, that's my efficiencies as a host. I just ask a question and then I answer it, and then I'm like, "Do you remember the question?"
I'll just wave, and I'm just happy, mate.
No, but talk to me about Pierre. Yeah, let's start at Pierre.
Yeah,
we'll start there.
I've never been a great fan of Højbjerg, but compared to Hill, I am. Hill was losing the ball constantly. Absolutely nothing he could do. When he was trying to take on people, he was just bouncing off them. It just isn't suited to the role. Højbjerg came on and gave us what we were severely lacking at the time, which was a bit of control, a bit of balance, a little bit of a calmer head, and he was able to hold on to the ball a little bit. It really did help the shape of the team. We're still up against Man City at that point, so we're still going to be, on the back foot quite a lot of the time, which is to be expected. They're a great side playing in their backyard. So I think he just gave us that little bit more stability and balance. It really did show compared to, recycling the ball constantly. We got a little bit more grip on the midfield today. That's all I'll say to that. Is Højbjerg the answer to everything? No. Is he what we needed at the time? Yes, that's the best we could have done.
Scott M says Pierre-Emile Højbjerg was terrible today, but we can't really expect much more than that. He just isn't good enough.
Scott would have kept Hill on then.
When are the good vibes going to come from Scott? What do you want, man? I mean, what do you want?
Seriously, with Scott nowadays, I just don't believe he actually believes half anything he's saying. I think he just trolls the sake of it. I really do.
We shall never know the inner workings of Scott M's mind. I will not presume to act like I know.
I mean, the man predicted we were going to lose by a minimum of 3-0 yesterday, didn't he?
Yeah, there we go.
Then he has a go at fans for celebrating a draw when he's predicted a 3-0 loss at the very minimum, and can't see that drawing 3-3 is a much better result. I mean, what the hell do you make of that? What does he expect exactly?
I'll tell you what I expected.
I've got a little bit annoyed at times when I think it's probably what he's looking for. When he's starting to say people are lying about things, that's a really slippery slope. Start using those sort of words. We've done nothing. We've changed nothing in the summer. No signs of progress. But yet, according to you, Scott, other people don't see it that way. Your view is your opinion. It's not fact. It's only truth to you. Truth is a personal thing.
Well, you know what
So,
is true? What else is true? There's over 130 people tapped in tonight on a Sunday evening for
You know
me,
what?
Sunday
You know,
night. Real quick, I see 118 votes. I see 97 likes. That's about 21 folks hitting a vote but not hitting a like. Now, you are allowed to do whatever you want to do. I would just gently encourage you, nudge you ever so gently, to just hit that like. It's absolutely free. You don't need to do anything special, and you don't need to spend any money to do that. But speaking of spending money, big shout out to Ash, David Shear, and Nathan, the Spurs fan, for spending some money tonight on the show. I big up. I do appreciate that very much. It is the holiday season, and you're spending some of your hard-earned dough on my family. That means something to me. So thank you for everyone financially doing that. So real quick, I just want to say that. But Paul, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I just on Scott here, you know, I get it, you Levy out, man. But like earlier, I was watching. I won't name names, but I was watching a channel and it had some like one of the staunch, you know, or a few of the really staunch Levy out people on it. And you know what I loved? They were talking about the football. They were talking about the football, and they were talking about how they're happy with what Ange is doing. You know, at the end of the day, you know, stick the politics up your ass. I don't give a shit who owns the club. If we're playing football like this, which I think is going to lead to success, because if you've ever seen Spurs play, there's footage out there on YouTube, man. You could look at Spurs in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and a bit of the 90s. This is how we fucking play. There is no plan B with Tottenham Hotspur. And when we get it right, we win stuff. And if you're not happy with that, you're supporting the wrong bloody club. You really are, because that's how we do it at Tottenham.
it's not so kamikaze that he can't see when things aren't working. He knew to bring Hill off for a start.
Yeah, halftime was. But also before that, it wasn't even today that told me that, Kuva. What solidified that fact that you just mentioned was because we tried something different versus Wolves. We tried something different the match after Wolves versus Villa. We have been adapting while still implementing our same philosophy. And like, I was having an argument on This Is Football with Staffy about this initially, because he's like, you didn't go there and play your brand of football. I said, yes, we did. It just wasn't most successful, so we tweaked and adjusted it. But like, there seems to be that faction of not understanding like the fact that you can still play your brand of football. And it, like Kellogg's, they've got fucking all type of cereals, all type of oatmeals. Like, a brand can still have different variations of itself, right? Like, this isn't black and white, in my opinion. Hit the like, look at that. Even a little thumb popped up. So for me, I think we went there. We played our brand of football. We adjusted, made tweaks on the fly. And what more can you ask from a manager to do? You're away from home at the Etihad. Everyone's chanting, City, City, City.
Hey,
and it's like,
it's fucking City.
It's City, mate. It's
Hey,
fucking City. Don't cross City.
Happy Mondays.
You don't play attacking football at City. They tear you apart. And it's like, bro, we did it there. We did it at the Emirates. We do it everywhere we go. And what happened? It's not always the most successful. We did it with a bunch of people, you know, I wouldn't have expected us to be able to do anything with. Emerson Royale, Ben Davies in the head, rattling Erling Haaland, whom I was told last year is better than Harry Kane. He's a more complete striker than Harry Kane, is what I was told.
He's more of a bitch than Harry Kane is. That's what he is.
Hey, he took his shoulder from Giovanni Lo Celso at the end of the match. Did y'all see that?
He's easy to tickle up, isn't he? Because Romero did a number on him.
Bro got
year.
rattled.
No,
you know what I mean?
Man. No composure.
Yeah, he just.
It's all right when things going his way. When things
Oh shit! Can y'all hear that? Oh shit! My fault.
Yeah.
My fault. Look, this is what I was looking at. I was watching it because here he is.
Oh, was I that interesting? Yeah, you just go and watch your fucking Twitter feed.
It was literally what we were talking about, Paul.
Sorry, you're doing a segue. Sorry, man.
Yeah, see, look, there he is. Boom, shoulder from Gio, and he's like, "Oh, fuck off!" And Gio's like, "Suck your mother." And then, and then it kicked off. He's like, "I got my hair down, bro. You want to see me?" And Giovanni Lo Celso said, "Ha ha ha, LOL at Erling Haaland."
You know what? I was on the after seeing that, man. I'm not on the fence about the Celso anymore. Well done, man. Well done. That's sticking up for the team. Fuck Haaland.
Hey,
I mean, I'm hilarious. Norwegian. I'm supposed to have a bit of a sort of loving eyes for Haaland because he's Norwegian as well. But what prick?
You know what? For your countrymen, you can get him a glass of milk.
He needs some milk.
He definitely needs some milk. I don't know why that looped like that. But it was absolutely hilarious. Big up Ian Ferguson. Of course, he needed some milk. Was that a good Mancunian accent? I really just kind of threw some darts in the dark there and saw.
It's okay. It's okay.
It wasn't bad. Huh, all right.
Yeah. It's not quite up to the fake Teddy Sheringham way of doing it, but it was good. If you remember that advert. Yeah, there's just a lot of things that were funny to take from this today. And there's Jacob gone again. What's going on here? Everybody's going. Just being by myself now? Maybe it is. Is the channel still going? Can everybody hear me?
Yeah, that was me. Sorry about that. You know how when I'm scrolling through the comments and then I scrolled backwards on accident and kicked me out the damn studio?
I like it because it's really confusing me as well with Paul having the backdrop like that as well.
You're like, wait, what's going on? Just a temporary power outage here in the studios of United Spurs of America.
Hey, I'll go solo if need be. That's fine.
Kuva,
just whenever that happens, you just look at the comments and start replying to people, don't you?
Yeah, that's the perfect way to do it. Yeah.
For you, isn't it? Easy.
The worst thing you could do is be like, oh, well, they're not here, so
yeah, I'll wait.
No, just say something. But thank you for holding it down. Paul, you left at the most inopportune time because you left and then I hit back on my browser and it kicked me out the studio. So then it was the Kuva show. Yeah.
I've got to get your studio background for here as well, I think. Tidy thing.
You just need to get Paul, send him the photo and then he can use it as his virtual background. That'll work nicely. And then we're all in the. Don't do that, Paul. You can't. That is
ruined. Oh, you're not even there.
He's not even here. There is something else I wanted to share, which I hope it's okay. If
Claude
not,
Murphy, Haaland is a hybrid dolphin girl. That's quite funny. He is, isn't he?
So this is the stadium at full time.
Oh, look at that.
But nothing's changed. Right?
I get chills watching that.
So we did sing for Conte last year. People sang for Pochettino, which was interesting.
Not like this, man.
Is this different, Paul? Tell me how and why.
Different. And I've been watching a lot of fan videos of people go to the games because it's something special, man. It reminds me of Keith Birkinshaw days and things like that, or Terry Venables. It's just. There's something electric about the place. And, the fans being like this is going to feed into the team. It really is. I think the fans, I know Ange is doing his bit, but the way the fans have trusted him and are just so ecstatic. I love seeing it. Like, I watched the other day Ange's comments after, I think, Celtic won the treble. And he said something like, let's face it, when I came here, I was a joke. And it's a credit to the fans that for some reason they got behind me and this is what we did. And he was thanking the fans. And it's this sort of behaviour, this sort of stuff they're doing here that can get us so much further than, Manchester City don't have this sort of fervent support. They've got the money and they've got the players and they've got the coach. But this is something different. This is something special that doesn't happen to every club every year. And it's happening to us right now. And this is, more than the football almost. When I was watching Celtic while we were going through the Conte bloody football and Kuva was watching Raiders of the Lost Ark, I was seeing this at Celtic. And I've experienced this when Ange was manager of Australia and we won the Asian Cup. So, but at Celtic, I could see so clearly this is what was happening there. And I was happy for them, but it wasn't me, it's not my club. So to see this happening at Tottenham, I'm just stoked, man. It's brilliant. I love it.
Kuva, what about you? Again, for those of you who don't know Kuva's story last year, instead of saying Coys, he would say toys. He said, turn off, you Spurs. He would not watch Spurs last year because of what he was subjected to. This year, I know it's different, but when you see this from the fandom, when you feel what you're feeling, you talk to me, you talk to Paul, we wind you up because, you know, nothing helps keep a crazy person crazier than the crazies that are in the crazy bin with him, right? So for you, Kuva, when you see this, what do you think? Is it different? Is it genuinely different this time under Ange Postecoglou now?
Yeah, it is for me. This has got a kind of, I wasn't going to use the word before, but it really does spring to mind. It's a cult following now. It's there is kind of a religious element to this now.
Mr. Postecoglou, Mr. Postecoglou, I'm a little thirsty.
Yeah, I mean,
do you have any punch for me, Mr.
I've seen it in the past when we've gone from really crappy, boring managers, and you know, like Santini, and we'll have Martin Jol come in and save the club and return us to playing football. And the love that man got from the fans was off the charts. I mean, Scott M would have hated him because, you know, he didn't come in and instantly win the quadruple, you know, 8 seasons in a row. But for everybody else, they knew what the score was. We didn't have a great team, but he brought the football back and we were building on it. Same again with Redknapp. Ramos managed to scrape us to a cup final, you know, winning the League Cup, but we started the next season horrendously. The football was bad. It wasn't even entertaining. It was just flat, dull. Nobody believed in what they were doing. Redknapp came in, changed the entire culture again. It's reminiscent of that in some ways. We started having belief when we'd lost it. And this is what, you know, Pochettino the same as well. I hated AVB, for example. I thought Sherwood didn't really know what he was doing, but I was okay with Sherwood. I didn't expect him to be a great manager. He was just doing us a favor. He was filling in.
Speaking of filling in, City fans were not doing that in the stands. Look at this. Man City fans are dressed as blue chairs. Halloween was over a month ago. Look at all the blue chairs. I would say equal amount of blue chairs in this shot here.
Yeah.
Bro, it's the first half. Yeah. What are we doing here?
Their tickets are like way cheaper than Tottenham's as well. And they win everything and they can't fill a ground. It's embarrassing. What a sham of a fucking club Manchester City are. It's a facade, as George W. Bush would say. It's a facade.
Facade.
It's a facade.
We're not showing any panic at all.
This says, Pep, we're going to have some fun.
The influence the new manager's got. I'll have to rely on my dad because I was too young at the time. But he remembers when back in the 70s, Spurs had Terry Neal in charge.
Oh, fuck,
we were god-awful. Absolutely god-awful. But then Keith Birkinshaw came in. Keith Birkinshaw couldn't stop us being relegated. But I remember my dad saying, the fans believed in him because they knew what he stood for. And they knew he believed in doing things the Bill Nick way and getting the good players in, starts playing football again as the basis of it. And so we knew to go out, and they had to have faith. And they knew it was going to take a little bit of time. We did get promoted again by the skin of our teeth. Took us a few seasons. We brought in fantastic talents like Villa and Ardiles, but you could see where things were going. Like I am seeing now, we've had a dreadful team the last few years. We've just started to change that. Injuries is what wrecked us this season so far. It isn't the manager, it isn't his decisions. It isn't even the players. When the players are going to make mistakes at times. And as Paul rightly said earlier, point out people like Emerson Royale. We know he's not a good footballer, but he tried his best to do.
You know what he did do? Was he got fucking better as the game went on. First half. Yeah. Such a bad first half from Emerson Royale. But in the second half, guess what? His passes weren't doing what they were doing in the first half. It was, honestly, for me, it was one of those things I was like, go, Emerson, because it kept showing like very close-up shots of Emerson Royale in his face, and he got hit in the head one time. Look, he was under duress from fucking kickoff. This man had pressure from Doku, from Holland, from anybody who Julian's pushing up and that. Everybody was giving him hell. And we all know where he is as a footballer, where he is as an athlete, isn't where we necessarily want our players to be. But what he does have is that fucking heart. And sometimes that's an uncoachable, right? That's not something you can instill in somebody. He's born with that. The dude dropped a Portuguese rap song about racial discrimination and then absolutely pockets Holland with Ben Davies, the captain of Wales.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
and then another Welshman.
The way we saw him struggling with the playing out from the back. I mean, it would have been easy to just go, "Oh my God, how bad is he?" But there was part of me going, "Come on, you can do this. You can do this."
And it would have been easy for him to just go, "Oh fuck it, it's too hard. I'm just going to hoof it."
Exactly,
and he did
bought into what the manager wants.
He had a few clearances as well,
and we got a point out of it at the end, so that it paid off.
Were you saying something, Paul? Or
No,
did you say yeah?
I
was looking at Emerson Royale's stats: 9 clearances, 2 tackles, 3 times got dribbled past, 1 error that led to a shot, which, you know, we know he's got errors. It just was 1 though. And yeah, it was 50% successful in the air, lost possession 10 times, fouled once, was fouled. 104 touches for Emerson Royale. 104 touches for Emerson Royale as a center back. We had Dorrington, the only center back on the roster. He didn't even touch the pitch. Did we need him to pocket Holland? No. Guess what? Ben Davies. And Brazil's number 2 put some fucking respect on it. I've got a lot of love now.
Holland, man. How shit is Holland? He couldn't beat Ben Davies and
he couldn't beat the captain of Wales and the number 2. But I mean, if you phrase it this way, Paul, it might sound a little bit harder for, you know, he could say, look, I was going up against Brazil's number 2 and the captain of Wales. What am I supposed to do? You know?
Yeah.
Get opportunities in front of net and finish them instead of sending them wide. If I did that in FIFA, Flawless, TJ, Winter Surfer, everyone that I play fucking pro clubs with would absolutely never let me hear the end of it. Erling Haaland missed that in real life. I mean, I love Erling Haaland now because of it. And not only because of that, his face in all these photos, he's now such a meme. And he threw a little temper tantrum. You see him storming off at full time. His hair was blowing in the wind. I was like, go off, Haaland. Go. He's walking. I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then he bumped into Giovanni Lo Celso. And then Giovanni Lo Celso rattled you at full time, my dog. Giovanni Lo Celso rattled you. The game's over. You're at home. You get to just go home to your beautiful mansion, wherever it is. And you got rattled by Giovanni Lo Celso. Hold that, Erling Haaland. Absolutely fucking hold that. They told me Kane, that this guy was better than Kane. And I know Kane don't play here no more, but last year they were saying he's better than Kane. That's all I kept hearing. He's a better all-around striker. Bro got pocketed by the captain of Wales and Brazil's number 2.
Brilliant.
What a fucking...
What a loser.
Absolutely hilarious. But look, I'm going to go through a couple more things because there is some more funny stuff that I found on Twitter that I want to make sure to get to before we do the man of the match and BDE. So chat, while I'm doing this, let me put up a banner just to remind y'all in case y'all are more visual people like me. Man of the match and BDE, get them in the chat. I will star them. I will go through them at the end, but got some more tweets and stuff I want to go through. Big up Mardini in the house. Big up Jacob. Isn't Staffy live right now and you're here? Big up Mardini. Appreciate you. Hit the like, my friend. Good to see you. Big up Tom Pereggi. Big up Ellie, the Queen of North London. How are you doing, Ellie? She's talking to everybody nicely tonight.
I bet she's a happy girl.
Oh, yes, she is. There's her man of the match. Make sure you do man of the match and BDE, Hansi G. All right, make sure you get both of them, and I'll keep starring them. Well, let me keep going through here. Son at full time said, it was a good experience to score an own goal for the first time against Manchester City with a big smile on his face. If that ain't my fucking captain, I don't want it. That is my captain. He is the captain now. And I'm just real quick. I just remembered Kulusevski did the LeBron James celebration. He did the LeBron James after he absolutely fucking dunked on the dude they brought on to replace a $90 million center back, LeBron James. I didn't mean to manhandle my microphone like this, but Kulusevski hit a fucking LeBron. Hang on 1 second. Where's my mouse? Kulusevski hit the LeBron James after he dunked on the man they brought on to replace a $90 million center back. That's my apology to you, Kulu. What a fucking beast. Anyway, I just remembered that. I was reading this Sonny quote, and then I remembered, Kulu was standing next to him receiving his Sky Sports award for man of the match. He hit the LeBron James. I'm not even a LeBron James fan, but it is a cold celebration that I hated when he would do it because it was usually against a team that I liked. But Kulusevski, what a beast. Wow. Thank you so much for that. I lost my train of thought there.
Look, in the long scheme of things, though, look at that goal by Sonny. How important that was. Getting a goal for a team that's desperate to get a point out of the game and then still having time to score one for us.
I'm real quick. This is a reply to Erling Haaland. So Erling Haaland, if I scroll up, you'll see some footage. So you see that there's some footage of, and so Erling Haaland's pissed about it, and he tweeted after the match, directly after the match. He was in there on the shitter. He probably hadn't even taken his dirty, sweaty undies off yet, and he was quote tweeting this footage saying, "What the fuck?" And some people were replying with some great stuff, and they said, "This is your worst nightmare." Ben Davies and Emerson Royale ain't even got time to game plan for you. He's dropping a Portuguese rap song, some Brazil rap song talking about racial discrimination, apparently. Which, shout out, he's a social justice warrior, and he's also a defensive warrior.
Why can't he just be a good player? I'd love him to bits, though.
I know, but it's like Eric Lamela. He's the new Eric Lamela. Because Lamela, it's like,
come on, Lamela
won a Puskas. Lamela won a Puskas.
Yeah,
oh wait, you were saying Lamela has talent? That's what you said. I cut you off.
Yeah.
That's fair, but he has talent. He's got a goal in him every now and then.
Talent. I love everything about him except for he just can't play very well.
He's like John Chidozie.
Yeah, yeah. And remember Franz Carr for Forest?
Yeah,
well?
he just wanted him to play well because he was, he was good to have around, but he was just
Franz Carr for Forest. You would have loved him, Jacob. He's kind of like a Adama Traore, but a cut down version.
Okay,
severely cut down version.
So then he's not like Adama Traore.
Tiny Franz Carr, but he used to be able to run the length of a football pitch in football boots in 10 seconds flat, which is pretty good going.
Speaking of pretty good going, a winger whom I've also given plaudits to this season, Jeremy Doku, completed one successful dribble against Spurs. Shout out Pedro Porro. There was also a challenge Pedro Porro did on Jack Grealish that I don't want us to forget about, in which I texted Michael, Pedro Porro will be having sex with Jack Grealish's woman tonight. Them's the rules. After he did that to you, he absolutely just babied him on the butt. Just get your blow. So I'm sorry, Jack Grealish. Your girlfriend is now, at least for the next week or two, she has to go on a date with Pedro Porro. So he absolutely pocketed Jeremy Doku as well. I thought Pedro Porro, look, this is a guy that we've all said, we have all said, I'm saying the royal we. I've gone up here and said he's porous in defense and can be a liability with balls over the top. It's a good thing Jeremy Doku wasn't receiving balls over the top. He was really just going at feet. Is Pedro Porro a better defender than Spurs fans give him credit for?
He's only had like one dodgy game this year. I think he was great. And Doku, he's around him.
Yeah, sorry, Paul, go on.
I was just saying, on the other hand, Doku, Sonny skinned him out of nowhere. Sonny had no kind of right to score that goal, but somehow he got past him. It was like a bit of it wasn't a perfect ball, but Sonny, did outstanding with it. But, Pedro Porro, I think he's had maybe one iffy defensive game this year. And apart from that, I think he's been great.
Yeah, I agree.
I remember last season, it was a very small Pedro Porro fan club I was in. Very, very few members with people savaging him, saying he can't defend, liability. And I just remember making the comment that Jacob didn't like hearing, but it's true. I said, Pedro Porro, you can teach him to defend, but you can't teach Emerson Royale to play football. What we've seen this season is Pedro Porro. Now he's been taught how to defend. He's doing a good job at it. He's really solid. He's making some very important covering tackles. It's helping recapture what we used to have when we had Kyle Walker. When you've got a doggy on one side, Porro on the other, and then when Van der Ven comes back, we've got a lot of pace in that defense all of a sudden. That is a huge weapon to have against other teams. And I think he's been massively underrated this season. He still gets doubted. I don't know why. When he goes forward, he's so good. When he's going back, he's made so many great tackles this season.
The only thing bad I think I saw him do today,
every game,
The only thing I saw Pedro Porro do poor today, and it wasn't even defensively, it was an attack. He took a shot that I was like, bro, you had no business taking that shot like that. Now what a way. Because it was at a moment in time, I think maybe in the first half, where we weren't getting too many opportunities. Because I think Manchester City had like 65% in the first half possession. So they were really dictating that match in the first half. And we all know it. We all saw it. But there was one of the very few opportunities we had in their box, and it was in and around that area. I was like, bro, why did you shoot that? Because he didn't have a position of his body. I remember the positioning of his body when he took that shot was like he was falling away from it. So it was never going to be a powerful shot. He was never going to be able to get that behind the ball that we know he has. So there's another thing I want to talk about.
Both a positive and a negative, though. I love the fact that he's feeling confident enough to do that. And the same with Basuma, although it cost us
Brennan Johnson as well. Two times right out the gates took shots on from far and distance. And I remember the announcer said something.
That little run, and he just got the ball and just like kicked into fifth or sixth gear. Great turn of pace on Johnson. I mean, he didn't do
Johnson definitely impressed me more.
Also, when one of those flies in, you're not going to hear anybody complaining then, are you?
No.
So he's going to get some goals for us without doubt. I think he is capable of hitting some long range screamers in.
I like the game that I saw from Brennan Johnson today. I think it was much improved, and I needed it. So thank you for that, Brennan Johnson. Restoring faith in the fact that you were Ainge Postecoglou's number one choice, because I think a lot of people were starting to waver in what Ainge wants, because they're all saying, well, Brennan Johnson's his number one choice, and you've yet to get really anything out of him. I mean, today I think he was absolutely instrumental in today. And there were moments, the only thing I really like that kind of bothers me about Brennan Johnson sometimes is I feel like he looks tired or hurt all the time. Like every time they cut to him in a close-up, he's like wincing, or he looks like he's tired. I'm like, are you okay? Is your cardio okay? Or like what? And then in a few other matches, I thought that he was he looked fatigued and stuff. But then when we needed it most, provides an absolute peach of a ball. And who was it going for? No, not Richarlison, who just got subbed on with his pubis maximus. It was Kulusevski, who then, what did he do, Kuva? What did Kulusevski do, Kuva? If you just don't mind answering that question for me.
Oh, nothing. He was rubbish, wasn't he?
No, yeah. No,
okay, yeah, he did the business, didn't he?
He
Kulusevski had a good game. He was good today.
And it's funny, like Kulu is like he's not the fastest, but I noticed on a couple of dribbles he was doing with the ball, it's like he's not the fastest, but somehow he's got this force field of slowness around him, so that opposing players drop their speed as well. They just somehow can't get the ball off him. It's a weird old thing.
He's very strong, isn't he? That helps
very strong, man. For a 20, was he 22? Is he 23 yet? I mean, he's doing all right as Kulu.
I love this comment from Ash. Says, I think Johnson just has resting wince face.
Yeah.
Just always
look at old Pedro Porro in that photo. He looks like Day of the Jackal. He's about to take out Charles de Gaulle with a
he's got that thing in his eye. But that's the thing, like even when Porro was turning 50-50 performances last year, the one thing I never questioned was he's got that fire in him. If he can end up being the player we want him to be, I was like, the door is still open for that. But when he, like this year too, tackles, he's given the fans that he's like, kind of cheeking up an injury, then turning to the fans like, you know what I mean? Like he's becoming this very instrumental
Even
piece.
this picture, you can see it. He's got that look on his face of like, yeah, I'm the man. I am the man.
You are
Yeah.
nothing.
You can see it in his
the
Shout
Portal.
out, shout out, João Felix and his woman as well. I know they don't like this face too much either. Well, not they. I know João Felix don't, but his girl definitely do. We'll put it that way. If you don't know, just Google Pedro Porro, João Felix. You'll find out real quick. Keep getting in your man of the match and your BDEs. I will be going to the comments in 1 second to go through that. What were you going to say, Paul?
I was going to say something inappropriate. I don't want to be controversial, but I was just going to say, I was just going to say, has Erling Haaland got a missus? Because I think she's going to be. I think she's going to be.
I think he's single. I think he's a single dude who. I think he just runs around town, gets all the play he wants. Honestly,
I think she's going to be spit roasted by Ben Davies and Emerson Royale tonight.
She's for sure at least invited to dinner. I know that much.
Some fine wine and Belgian chocolates. One thing leads to another.
I love this quote here from Ange on the team.
Who's going to be doing the eating out tonight?
I think it's a group project, so to speak. It's a team effort. That's what we do around here. Ange says on the team situation, quote, "We've gone through a fairly extreme time. We'll get Romero back." Oh yeah, we'll get Romero back. And boy, we've missed him. Oh, I've missed him so much. Just his face. Back. When they cut to his face, I just can't wait for the first fucking the first time he goes, the smoochy, as I like to call it. Richarlison got some game time. Papa Sarr will hopefully be available by the end of the week, but the rest won't be back for a while. As we get players back, I'm confident we'll pick up some momentum and we can battle with anyone. And even without all those aforementioned, we battled with everybody. Look at this.
And you know what?
Look at that Kulu hand on the tummy. Yummy.
In the press conference when Ange was saying that, he had that like Pedro Porro look in his eyes. You can just see, he said something like, we're going to gain momentum. I believe we will. It was just, this is what's going to happen. It was incredible.
Yeah. There's just no doubt about it in my mind.
No doubt, man.
Yeah. You look at the way we've performed, even when we didn't win against Villa. You look at the way the team was starting to take shape there and the way that attacking momentum was going. We just didn't finish our chances. That was the only thing going wrong, wasn't it? So when we do get these quality players back, let's face it, the players we are missing are top draw players. It's not like we're just missing a couple of the awkward positions to fill in. It's like, Maddison, Van der Ven and Romero alone. I mean, God's sake, look at City. If you take out Diaz and Rodri and, Bernardo Silva, yeah, sure, they got some to fill in, but they're still going to feel that loss, aren't they? They still feel the loss of De Bruyne when he's not playing. When you're reliant on your players and they're gone, you're in trouble, aren't you? Some teams have just got bigger squads than we've got at the moment, and it's going to take time for us to catch up because we have screwed things up over the past few seasons, and that's all it comes down to. We need time to fix it because it's a problem created over years. It's going to take years to fix as well. But we've got the right tools to do it now, I think.
And people are talking about Newcastle United with 13 injuries and they're doing better. And look, I mean, I'm not saying they're not. I think Newcastle are doing fantastically under their circumstances. They're brilliant. But Eddie Howe's also, this is his second season. This is Ange's first season, and he's been faced with this shit show of injuries and suspensions and God knows what. So I think under the circumstances, we can be really pleased with how we're going. Just as Newcastle can be with how they're going. They're showing resilience.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Big up Ren in the house. I see TJ Warren. He's upset that his mod status got removed. Real quick, I just want to say you're an absolute fraud and a joke of a human being, and you're going to absolutely have to hold that. Also, I want to say big up to Footy Judge Mo with the raid, sending some people on over from. He just got done doing a show as well.
Hey,
Mo and
alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh, brothers.
Yes, big up and everything that he said. Salam alaikum as well is what I will say because I know how to say that much, and I know what I'm saying in that sense. So big up to everybody. There's over 230 of y'all in the house. Make sure you come say hello, hit a like, subscribe if you're new. All those things are free. And right now, the question is, who's the man of the match? Who gets the BDE of the match? These are 2 awards we give out when Tottenham have a great day. I usually say win, but today was a great day, and it feels like a win nonetheless. We've had a great show so far, an hour and a half in. So big up to everybody who's rocking with us, and big up Footy Judge Mo. I just realized he's also not a mod. There was a problem on YouTube. A bunch of people got unsubscribed. All my moderators got deleted, and like it was really weird. The channel was acting really weird, and I was like, I guess everybody hates United Spurs of America now. But big up everybody who is here. Over 250 people. So big up if you did come on over from Footy Judge Mo's with the raid. Big up, and make sure you get your vote in the poll while we speak. How are we feeling after that 3-3 draw? Right now, 33%. We're tied, but 32 and 33% between New Ainge wouldn't let 4 L's happen, and Kulu and Gio need some more love from the fans. You know what? We started off with apologies, and no more apologies. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Kuva, I don't want both. I just want one, and so that way we can tantalize the audience just a little bit. Who do you think deserves man of the match, and who are you giving the award to, and why?
I know a lot of people say Kulusevski, and he did have a great match. I think there are a few that you could put into that bracket as well, but for me, the standout was Sonny. I thought he had a great game. He was such a thorn in their side. I mean, scoring the goal. I think he's unlucky with the own goal. Let's be fair. It was a very difficult to defend ball. He didn't have any time to react. It came off his thigh. Could have gone anywhere. Just happened to find the back of the net. What can he say? He just knows how to score goals, doesn't he? So he had to help them out, but he's also helped us out. So there were times where some of the work he was doing when he was dropping back was going completely unnoticed by a lot of people, but you could see the work rate, the effort, the level of captaincy there. He knew we were up against it. He knew we had to really put in a shift today. And there was one incident in particular where he had dropped back facing our goal, ball played out to his feet, and he did that first time curling pass into the path. I think it was into Brennan Johnson's path, it might have been. And I just thought, wow, that's prime Harry Kane right there.
Yeah.
That pass was exactly like it.
That turn and just dish.
It
Dish.
It was the pass that Kane usually did for Son himself.
Oh, yes.
And it was like a little, for me, it was a little snippet. It was like a little homage of,
yeah.
I learned that one from you, Harry.
And the amount of mustard on the ball as well. He just kind of popped that. You could hear it too. I mean, I love the sound. There's only one sound greater than the ball coming off of the end of a boot, and that is the ball sloshing around in the net after a goal. Those two noises, it's like butter on toast. It's like gravy on taters. You know what I mean? But big up Footy Judge Mo says, I'm not a bitter guy. I redirected even though you called me out. Footy Judge Mo, anytime I call you out, it's like, do you want to, it's like what is the best way I can say? A term of endearment. It is a way in which it is a love language, because I have so much
invitation to dance. That's what it is.
That's what I was looking to say. I don't know why I was going to say. It's an invitation to dance as well. Yes, because look, Mo was one of the people I shared a stream with, which you should go check it out at Footy Judge Mo if you haven't seen it. We did a preview, and he had me on. Thank you so much for having me on your channel, Mo, as well. And I was up there fighting the good fight. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to go down. If I'm in the grave, I'm still going to be punching from 6 feet under. If I'm above ground, I'm going to be punching from above ground. Ainge Postecoglou taught me that it don't matter if it's in the backyard, Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Etihad, Emirates, the Moon, parking lot, hallway at a library. It doesn't matter. Museum, fuck the museum. We will bring our style regardless, and we will cope, and we will go, and we will always try to win the game. And that's what we did today. And we got the draw. And that's why I think it feels like a win, because at every moment of pressure, when we went down 2-1, it was like I was watching Phil Foden celebrate, and I had that nasty feeling inside like, okay, this is the moment in which we either respond or we fucking cower and back down into the shell and just accept the ass whooping. And for me, as someone who did get jumped quite a few times in my growing up days, I'll tell you what, I never went down without fucking swinging. I'll tell you that much. So make that of what you will. I just like to see the resiliency and the mentality from this club. So big up Footy Judge Mo. Now, anytime I call you out, it's all love. Make sure you are subscribed to Footy Judge Mo. He has awesome panels, big panels all the time. And if you are still listening, Mo, I think Ellie wants to join the channel sometime. So go shout out Ellie. She wants to come make an appearance and fight for Tottenham, just like everyone else does. I am asking the question, man of the match and BDE. Obviously, BDE stands for who brought that big dick energy to the match, who brought that thing, and they really enforced it. Now, usually, like, I would say, you know, look, Basuma when he had those back-to-back performances. Today, Basuma was the opposite of what you would say the BDE award should go to. So make sure you're getting those in the chat.
Prolapsed anal energy maybe from Basuma today.
Basuma wasn't great, but let's talk about it. I asked before the match, Kuva, I think we talked about it, that I wanted to see Basuma return to that man we saw the first 8 matches and be that back-to-back man of the match performance. Really this silky smooth operator connecting the midfield to the James Madison attack and such forth that we saw in the beginning of the season, but didn't get that today. We got more similar to the loot, but there was about 20 minutes in the second half where I was like, you know what? Basuma's kind of turned it around a little bit. There was about this 25 minute period where I was like, Basuma's actually kind of cooking. And then literally as I had that thought, Kuva, he turned the ball over and they scored. And literally as I thought that was like, well, there's shit.
It was just a couple of minutes before he got dispossessed and led to the goal. Just a couple of minutes before that, he had been in a similar situation, surrounded by a few players, and he did successfully dribble out of it. I thought, there, we're getting back to the Basuma from the start of the season. But I think that made him overconfident. That's what led to that second mistake. I thought he suddenly thought he was feeling it. He was being the man again, and he just made a stupid mistake. He should have kept it simple. Andrew will talk to him about this and say, you know, you basically screwed up there, but get it right for next game because we need you. We need you back to that player you were. Sometimes you just got to keep it simple. Sometimes you got no choice but to try and get your way out of trouble. That's what made him so great in those first 8 games, is he was doing it on a regular basis. So I'm not gonna get too down on him about it because it's one of these cases like last season when Sonny wasn't playing that well, and I just remember saying you've got to keep playing him. He's good. He's a quality player. You've got to let them play their way through the bad patch and get their form back. Just dropping them each time isn't going to help if you're doing that. Not when you've got a squad like ours. We need these big-name players to put in big-name performances. Can you imagine if we drop him for Skip for the next 3 games? It's not a good move for me.
Real quick.
So much. Yeah, we just need him back to what he was. You're right.
Real quick, Danny D, you're going to have to hold that timeout. No one ever comes into my chat and disrespects Dave with the Irish Hotspur. He is a GOAT as far as I'm concerned. He deserves only the utmost amount of respect. So don't ever come into... I know I have a good time. I call TJ this, that, and the other. TJ's not Dave. You don't talk to Dave like that, at least not in my prayer. You can talk to Dave like that wherever you else want to go, but not here on United Spurs America, I'll tell you that much.
Yep, Dave's a very positive fan, and he's a total gentleman. Got a lot of time for Dave. He always has a lot of time for people. Yeah, behind the scenes as well. Spends an awful lot of time talking about.
I would say this channel wouldn't be where it is and still here if not for Dave with the Irish Hotspur. That's why,
same with me, man. You know,
that's why I always promote Dave. He's such a great guy. So don't.
Dave was the first channel I really went on. You know.
And sorry, Dave. Dave said let him explain himself, but I think I timed him out before he could. I just saying, no one come in here and call Dave something like that. No, I ain't.
Without Irish Hotspur, I wouldn't be doing a channel either, man. So
again, David's also the one that convinced me to go on air in the first place. I never would have otherwise.
There you go.
See, if it wasn't for Dave, this little trifecta of fucking greatness wouldn't be happening live and direct. So
it's right. It's like he gave birth to me. I'm going to call him Daddy.
Oh, well, I've already got too many daddies as it is with Ainge Postecoglou and Heung-min Son. But speaking of Ainge Postecoglou, I just wanted to highlight some more of his halftime talk here. He says, quote, "There would probably only be a few words that I can say. Joking aside, it was more trying to get the players to believe in themselves rather than anger at them. I'm always mindful that from where I am on the touchline, it seems simple, but out there against an unbelievable team, it is difficult. It was a case of whatever happens, I will take responsibility, particularly if it doesn't go well. But just go out there and believe in yourself. Go out there and fucking believe in yourselves. God, that makes..." And then he says, "How you react to the tough periods factor in how you are measured in the course of a season. We stuck to our guns and our beliefs. We aren't out of the tough period yet. We are going to be thin going into January, but how you react is important for what we are trying to build." Ainge Postecoglou talking to me and Hotspur Nation so fucking
I'm going to go and
nicely.
rob a bank and get some pussy.
It's the Australian way. Is that what you say?
That's it, man.
Big up Rowan Kumar as
You
well.
know, Ange just remembers like that football is not a complicated game. You know, it's a simple game, you know, and the players, they want to play football. So how do they do that? What's their best chance? Is it by bollocking them every 5 seconds or just creating a bit of a shield for them to go and express themselves? And he's perfect at it.
Absolutely love this stuff, man.
So we're not talking so much Lloyd Kelly in January. We're talking Ned Kelly. Is that what you're saying?
That's it, man. That's it. I'll get my steel helmet on with the slot.
Borrow it off Dyer.
You know what's so great? What's so great?
He's so gone, isn't he? He's so gone.
He's done. But no, people are saying that he got injured and that I was moving agendas. Apparently, he pulled up in training. I think he pulled up to Heathrow Airport and he pulled up to a flight to Portugal to his one true club, the place he feels like home. And I did air quotes because those are direct quotes from Eric Dyer himself. Look at that, balloons and everything. Celebration.
Did you see the pre-match press conference where a journo said to Ange, you know, "Oh, with Erling Haaland's height, is Eric Dyer the answer to this?" And Ange just said no. And then he said some other stuff, but straight away his first answer, it was no. Look at that.
Look at that. That's fun. The Matrix. They sent him 3 managers a month of workers. Yeah. Madison injured. Bentancur injured. Van de Ven injured. 8th away game. He stopped it all. He is the one. Absolutely love that.
I mean,
look at that.
For me, it speaks volumes when Pep is showing Ange the respect of saying, you know, he's great for football. This is what we need, sort of thing. So,
you know what else? Speaking of Pep,
yeah,
perfect segue. What happened here? What happened here? And this tweet was funny. They're like, I just find it funny that we can make the manager goat do this.
I didn't know there is there.
We
a
also did this
at the main road somewhere. What? Oh no!
You know what? I'm actually going to save this photo.
You will never ever see Ange Postecoglou do that. Never.
I mean, as far as the antics, I'm not going to give him. Go ahead.
I don't mind this. This is just him getting involved. It's emotionally involved, isn't it? You're supposed to be.
I don't mind it so much. I do critique Arteta about his sideline antics, but if you're Pep Guardiola, I think if you have his resume, you can kind of you can fucking roll around on the floor if you want. But if you're Arteta and you have nothing except a dinner plate, as they like to call it, and an FA Cup, I guess. I still don't think he's done anything.
Pep is personally responsible for creating an era of football that is Pep football. I mean, that's right. You just look at it. That Barcelona team at its peak, it was absolutely amazing. And then he's just taken it up to everywhere he's gone. Just
no Tottenham, no Pep. Peter McWilliam coached Vic Buckingham. Vic Buckingham went to Barcelona and coached Johan Cruyff, and Johan Cruyff coached Pep Guardiola. So it's all come down to Spurs.
And now we've schooled Pep as well.
Yeah.
It's kind
of. Jimmy Nipples says there was an article last week saying Dyer and Levy had a frosty chat. If it's true, he won't play for us again. Frosty, I don't know what that means. Is that a UK term or like a what is that?
Yeah, just cold, very cold. Matter of fact. There's no warmth there. There's no friendliness between them.
Yeah. Phil, at the end of the clip, it cuts to a shot of Daniel Levy being like, "He is the one." So it's quite great. I got a few more things to get through here before we. Oh, look at that! I love these photos as well. Look at that. I'm saving that one as well. Sorry. That's just a fun photo, I think.
Brilliant, isn't it?
Have you seen the one where somebody's put a blow up doll below him, and they look very similar?
No.
Bendy Wendy with the 3 holes.
Big up Becky, I believe a Liverpool fan, says, Yakub, what you think about the decision at the end? I want to throw it to you guys. Kuva, I'll start with you because I think I know where Paul's going with it. Yours may be a little bit more unknown, but I still think I know where this is going to go. But the decision, Jack Grealish obviously got played in by Erling Haaland, who was cheekily fouled, I believe, by none other than Emerson Royale. Wasn't it? I might be wrong. Well, who gives a fuck? But what did you think about the final call?
Yeah, the ref made a mistake. That's all. But refs will make some mistakes. I mean, we've been on the wrong end of it plenty of times. But if you actually look at what happened at the time, he wasn't clean through. He was clean through at first, but he was caught up. Now, is that because the whistle went? I didn't think it was. I thought we'd managed to recover and hold him up a little bit, but I don't care either way. It was funny, and it was about time we have a little bit of luck going our way because we've not been getting an awful lot this season. We're a team that doesn't get penalties.
We haven't gotten one penalty, not one. And Arsenal have the most, I believe, in the league. At least a few weeks ago, they did.
Yeah, I mean, it was a wrong call, but end of the day, City should have put away those chances that they legitimately had in the first half, and they didn't. So it cost them.
Yeah,
it was in their own hands. They could have still won the game if they'd finished their dinners like we could have against Villa.
I agree. It doesn't always come down to just one. Doesn't come down to just one moment, one instance, and that's why I always say I don't give Reddit's credit for the win, nor do I give them blame for a loss. And that's just my energy because that is a constant. They will get things right, they will get things wrong. That is as sure as it is that Monday will come, and it's going to be a very busy day for a lot of people, myself included. But my thoughts about the decision is, if you look at the ref's positioning on the pitch, how does he know that Haaland didn't just hoof it and it went to Spurs? Because there was 3 Spurs in front of him, and while Grealish was there, so he did serve the ball around that group, but the position of the ref was he saw him take the foul, come across him, and then there he was with the pass. He didn't know if that pass got completed or not, so he was trying to do, in my thought, was the right thing and play stop the play there, because he's like, well, he did get fouled and then he gave up possession there, because I don't think he knew that the pass got completed. So, hey, that is a human error. That's not even VAR error.
I certainly didn't see the referee giving any decisions that I thought that looks a bit biased. It seemed like he'd done a fairly good job the rest of the game. Couldn't have any complaints. I don't think, apart from that, if he took that incident away, I don't think City would have complained too much about how the game was refereed. They would have been more concerned about the fact that they didn't stick those chances away, and it did cost them in the end. That's just what happens, isn't it? I mean, against Liverpool as well, same thing. City created, twice the amount of chances Liverpool did, but couldn't stick them away either. That's down to your team. You can't blame officials for everything. City is still an amazing team, let's face it. So they're going to be bouncing back, but there's no worries about where they're going with things. It's not going to absolutely destroy their season. I'm expecting them to win the league anyway. So in the long scheme of things, disappointment for them today, but they've got a great team. I love watching them play football. I mean, their opening goal, I just thought that was fantastic to watch, even though it was against us. I just appreciated it. It was artistry. So, you take the rough with the smooth, don't you? Some of the decisions go your way, some don't. I don't think the ref got things majorly wrong. It's more sort of a hindsight thing. If he had let it go, would have gone fair enough. But yeah, he made his call. He made his call and he stuck with it. That's
EPL turf, and I think we agree here. I just think the ref saw him hoof the ball and didn't know that it, from the TV angle, obviously I could tell it hit Jack Grealish in the feet. Now, what would have happened at that point is definitely up for debate, but what isn't up for debate is they're going to have to hold that. That's a point for us. And you know what? A human error is also a natural occurrence. There was one time I got a whole bunch of seasoning in a bag of chips. I was like, damn, this is extra cheesy type of chips because human error, just put too much seasoning in the bag. Hey, I benefited. So what? It's kind of my thought. I mean, it's probably not the most.
I think it was quite clear that the referee tried to blow his whistle for the initial foul, but the P must have got stuck in the whistle, so he had to give it a shake.
And then that's a good point, Paul. I didn't even think of that. That's very good. No, that's very nice.
Always tend to give my P a bit of a shake at the end.
I think, like, football's more than moaning about referee decisions. I've heard you say this before, Jacob, and I'm with you, man. It's you get some, you lose some, and if you've got to rely on something like that to win a game, sometimes a referee's just a dick, but that's part of the conditions of the game you're playing under. Then that's what you've got to overcome. That's the challenge, and like Kuva said, that if Man City had put their goals away earlier, it would have been irrelevant. But when it happened, I was pissing myself laughing, man. I thought it was really funny just because I knew it would wind up the Manchester City fans and the Manchester City players. So I absolutely loved it.
It would also wind up the empty chairs. And isn't
the
that
empty
quite
chairs?
nice?
Yeah,
don't forget about those empty chairs. They're blowing in the wind. Colder than the day because no warm butt cheeks to keep them warm.
I do need to watch it again, to be honest, that incident, because my initial reaction at the time was he got caught up anyway, and he wasn't going to be claimed for on goal. So I'll have to watch that again.
It looked like he was on.
I think he might have done something, but he would have had a shot, I think. But
I think he would have had a shot, but I think Vicario 1-on-1 versus Jack Grealish with players burning down on him. I think, hey, who knows? That's always a fun debate that we could talk about. Big up Mike Doss as well. I'm not gonna do any name shade throwing on Mike Doss because he did help me out yesterday with my microphone. So big up Mike Doss as well. Look, again,
anybody who's got an avatar of Magnum gets my vote. Yeah. He's got a
Tom Selleck,
Magnum PI. I mean, Tom Selleck, yeah. That's spot on. That's my kind of era. Grew up watching episodes of Magnum.
What I would say about Mike Doss, though, is he's a fraud because that is a glue-on mustache that he has. And ever since he started doing more shows on YouTube, now all of a sudden people are like, oh, he's got the best mustache on YouTube, yada, yada. No one said nothing about the Freedom Stash, but as soon as Mike Doss and his bushy bagel comes on, then now all of a sudden everyone's talking differently. But look, without further ado, let's keep getting to the mans of the match and the BDE of the match. Paul, I'll start with you. Hit me with your man of the match and your BDE of the match.
Look, this is a player that I was watching very closely this game because I've heard a bit of disturbance around the place, and so every time he was in the field of view on the TV, I was keeping an eye on him, and I thought he was fantastic today. And it's Son Heung-min. I agree with Kuva. I thought that goal he scored was fantastic. The own goal, like most own goals, if Son had done nothing, there was a Manchester City player right there. So Son felt he had to try and do something, and he got unlucky with it. But what I was watching him doing was his work off the ball was incredible. He was running so hard at the players, and he was as mouthy as all anything at the right times with the other Tottenham players. So I think he's a fantastic captain. I love what he's doing. So for me, Son Heung-min, brilliant. Man of the match.
I love it. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, he got the own goal, but you know what? He made up for it, I think.
Well, if he didn't do anything, there was a Man City player that probably would have had a shot. So, like most own goals,
Hey, Daniel E. says Davies would have taken a red for the team. I do have this. I want to acknowledge the young lad. He did come on with about 2 minutes to spare, so... but you know what? He came on the pitch and he did touch the ball. I think he did win the ball back, or he intercepted it or something. I remember the ball hitting him, and I was like, hey, look at that. There's Donnelly. So that was kind of nice. Big up to everyone who's still here.
There's BDE, no?
Oh, well, yeah, I was just going to say hit a like real quick because there's still over 220 people in the house. And do
Wow.
subscribe to the channel if you're new. We're almost we're 6 likes away from 150. So if 6 people don't mind just tickling that like button real quick, we'll hit 150 live on air, and that'd be pretty sweet. But who is your BDE of the match, Paul?
I'm going to have to give it to 2 players. I know, I'm going to make my own rules. And even though they were a bit shit, I'm still going to give it to Ben Davies and Emerson Royale for pocketing Haaland.
Hey,
And when you consider the way they were playing last year under Conte's system, and they're still not very good, but at least they're trying. They're kicking the ball forward. They're going for little runs. And I think the way they pocketed Haaland right now, they're sitting in a cocktail bar with Erling Haaland's girlfriend, and she's saying, "Oh, I've never done this before." So
apparently she's a supermodel. That's what someone said in the chat.
I don't want you to think badly of it. I've never done this before. That sort of line. I think they were crap, and long term or even medium term past January, whether they're good enough for Tottenham, I don't know. But you can't ask for players to suddenly become bloody Bobby Moore, can you? So I thought they did really, they did really well enough. They cost us maybe a couple of goals here and there, but Haaland did fuck all, and that was partly due to them.
Well, he did do some stuff there at full time, and they're close to the death. MCFC 2000, big up City fan in the house, always good to see. Says, why do we always struggle to beat you at home? I don't get it. You also struggle to score a goal at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Technically you haven't yet, but what I will say is I think this year you will do that. I think that is a prediction I've had for some time running.
I can tell MCFC 2000, you have been our bitches since Steve Perryman stuck a tackle on Jerry Gow in the 1981 FA Cup final replay. Since then, you've been a bunch of pussies where Tottenham's concerned. That tackle has reverberated 40 years later.
Well, there it is from Paul.
I don't think I'm going to go quite that far. I remember them giving us a complete hiding a few times. But yeah, I know.
Leave the dream, Cougar. Leave the dream.
It is right. we had a little siesta in the middle somewhere, and then yeah. Oh, big dick energy. It's a good shout, Paul. Davis and Emerson. They're not greatest players in the world. I think Davis is more of a steady Eddie for us, but Emerson struggled like hell. But if desire and commitment and trying your best count for anything, that would be his award for it. Because he was completely outclassed. He was struggled like hell playing out from the back, but he stuck at it. He did what the manager's asking of him to the best of his ability. Bless him. But it's something that you give credit for, but you also accept that he just wasn't very good. It's just like you love the attitude. That's something at least. I prefer to see that with a player struggling and giving his all anyway than somebody that just doesn't care, like an Ndombele strolling around like it doesn't matter. At least you can go home saying, well, we just got beaten because we weren't good enough. So
Haaland's girlfriend might right now, she might be texting her friends, but she's still with Ben Davies.
There we go. But I mean, my other choice was going to be for big dick energy. It's going to be Kulusevski. I think he was working his socks off. He was strong when he needed to be. Carried the ball well. He was trying to make things happen. We let's face it, we struggled against City that first half in particular. They were playing some of their best football at points there.
Oh, they were so good in that first half.
Yeah, sometimes you have to just sit back and say we can't compete with this.
Yeah,
just ride it out, and we did. That's the key to playing somebody who knows technically better than you. Is you are going to have to rely on a bit of luck to go your way, and when they do their best stuff, it doesn't come off. That's what happened today. So I think what we offered in return, summed up with Sonny, Kulusevski up front, I think those two were instrumental in us really getting into the game. Lo Celso to go with them as well. He definitely deserves the credit too. But it was, again, it's a team performance. we were up against it, and we somehow came away with something worthwhile, and it bodes well for the future. I was proud of what they did today, because how many people wrote us off, gave us no chance. We were going to get absolutely annihilated.
Can't play football like that, Coover, can you?
Yeah,
you need a plan B. You need to adapt.
Yeah. And nobody goes to City. Nobody goes to City and plays like that.
Yeah,
well,
bollocks. We did. Go suck at your own dicks.
Lovely. Love that.
I can't. I tried.
Well, without further explaining what people can do with their said mouths, I'm going to see what I've got starred up as far as what has the chat said for their players of the match and their BDE of the match. Let's go to it. Let's find out, shall we? Ellie says player of the match, Kulu, BDE, my man Højbjerg. Very nice. He did transform the second. He was part of the transformation in that second half. Big up Ellie. Hansi G says Kulu man of the match. I do support that as well. Zapur man of the match. Lo Celso. Zapur has been one.
Is it on these nice days where no matter who people are saying, it's not like you're saying, "Oh, you're full of shit." It's like, "Oh yeah, you've got a point." There's such a range of choices. You know, there's no bad choice here, I think.
Yeah, I like that we're in that position now, because last year it was like, even when we drew, even anything we did was just like, I don't even want to do these awards anymore. I guess we'll just retire them for now. But big up Zapur says BDE, Pedro Porro. That's a great shout as well. Scott M says man of the match, Simon Hooper, BDE, the post and the crossbar. Not a bad shout on the BDE, if I'm honest, because the post and the crossbar are absolutely instrumental in that first half. Nate Pye says man of the match, Lo Celso, BDE, Pedro Porro. Kulu gets man of the match for James Paratrooper, says Sonny gets BDE. Mardini says Son man of the match for the own goal. And I love that. Hansi G, Kulu man of the match, Johnson BDE. For playing 95 minutes. Isn't that lovely? That now the standard for Johnson is as long as he plays 95 minutes. But big up Hansi G. Bob Down Under says Kulu and Porro. Not sure which one gets which, but hey, I guess he says leave it up to your imagination. Nita, big up Nita, says Porro, the man of the match for me, playing on the wrong position. Midfield, he ain't a defender. Danny Rose was short, but he had speed. Porro has the feet for our midfield. Big up Nita. Appreciate that. Nate says, changing my vote. Man of the match, Kulu, BDE, Ainge. Postacoglu getting that BDE. Real quick, we are over 2 hours while I keep reading these out. Keep getting yours in if you have not gotten yours in yet. But do hit that like. There's still over 230 y'all across all three platforms. So make sure you are hitting a like. I see 158 likes, so big up to 158 of you beautiful motherfuckers who did hit that like. TJ Warren, the fraudulent man himself, has chimed in, says, man of the match, Holland's fraudulence, I should say. TJ Warren's an absolute fraud himself, so he would know. Boston says, man of the match, Ainge. Love that one, Boston. Ash has manager of the match, Sonny, and BDE, Giovanni Lo Celso. I'm seeing a lot of recurring names here. Enthoj says BDE, Pedro Porro, man of the match, Sonny, and Kulu. Love that. No reason why you can't give dual awards around here. Enthoj, do what you want. Do as you please. The world is your oyster. Ash also says man of the match, goalpost, and BDE, the empty chairs. Look, I thought the empty chairs put in a big shift tonight. They stayed empty. They stayed frosty.
They were behind the team, weren't they?
Dave with the Irish Hotspur says Kulu was man of the match, but Son's work rate is undeniable. You know what else is undeniable? That goal of his. Some may say Ederson should have saved it. I say, much like the wind should blow certain directions, we can say that, but we don't have any control of that. All we know is Sonny is inevitable.
The shot is brilliant.
Sonny is inevitable versus City. Kulusevski is inevitable versus City. Oh yeah, he did. They told me that he lost his pace. That is what they told me. I'm telling you, that's what they told me.
No goal scorer worries about how it goes in. They just worry about the fact it goes in.
He's deadly.
Big up Dave says I'm signing out for the night. Big up Dave. Hope you are well. THFC till I die. Dermatron says big up. Thank you so much for the super chat. Says I told you all Spurs would not lose, so all of you bow down to Dermatron. I've been saying all week. Big up my pre-match build-up, Bobby. Big up my pre-match build-up, Bobby Paul Kuva. Who's Bubby? Am I Bubby? I guess I'm Bubby. But thank you so much for the donation. Look, whenever I did actually leave the studio and come back, I came back and I'm now unable to see any of the previous super chats. So this is the only one I see. But I do remember Ash sent a super chat. So thank you so much, Ash. And then someone also grabbed a membership. I don't remember the name at this juncture, but Ellie says, I love Emerson's baggy shorts. Them baggy shorts were all over the place. Love to see it. Chris Frank says, are you close to end? I just got here. I am. We've been going for 2 hours and 5 minutes. We are slowly winding down. But Chris, get in your man of the match and your BDE before we sign out as well. Make sure that we get that. What is this? Where am I? Did I miss some? Oh, there was a question here for you, Paul, from Dave. Says, Paul, have we reignited the title race?
I don't think we're ever out of it, are we? You know, I think we're still in there. Of course. You know, we've come through. This is the hardest challenge we're going to face this season. Depleted squad away at Man City, and the boys have done well. So you never know. I'm not. You know, I'm saying it's possible. Next year we're going to win it, but this year it's possible.
It is absolutely possible. Herbie Hurts Feeling says Vicario man of the match. And a big shout out to MCFC 2000 says, I'll take nothing away from your performance. I think that you played really well. We just wasn't clinical in the first half. And I think that's a beautiful representation of from a City perspective as well, because absolutely you could have, everyone acknowledged you could have been up 5-1 in that first half.
Me.
That's why Ainge was like, yeah, let's go ahead and change some things. This is not okay. We're getting torn apart.
Okay, look, we're playing football out there. I don't know what you've been doing, but, you know, just relax a little. I mean, Manchester City you could see why they've won everything in that first half, because they were just brilliant. Except that finish at the end. Yeah. We punished them. But then they lost their heads in the second half, man, you know. Like we've done. Well, it's not like we haven't done that this season ourselves. It can happen in football.
It absolutely can happen. Look, I got some more late entries for man of the match. Ryman Sun says it's the Sun Hung Min show. Love that, because he is absolutely, he's got it. Danny D says big up to T-Bag. Absolutely big up T-Bag. That's what he calls TJ. That's funny. See, he called TJ stuff like that. That's always fun. Dermot says man of the match is Ainge. That's a great shout as well. What a fucking beast he was today. Chris Frank says Sonny ran all game. He was amazing, never slowing down. Choosing Kulu as man of the match. Big up Chris Frank for that. Philip Bidwell says Kulu for getting the final equalizer man of the match. Holland BDE for showing that he's not a great striker. Love that. That's a great. This is a Liverpool fan, so big up Philip Bidwell. Yeah. No one wants to big up Ben Davies or Emerson. Look, Emerson Royale. Put some respect on Brazil's number 2 is what I would say. Who wore number 2 for Brazil most recently? Put some respect on his name. Yeah, it was Emerson Royale Cuva. I see you looking like, wait, was it Emerson? It was. Absolutely.
I just can't bring myself to say he's a good player. I can't.
Okay, Google.
When I see Emerson,
I appreciate his efforts, and it's the vibe, as we talked about before.
You know what I say about when I see Emerson? Calf who? You know? Calf who is what I want to say. Calf who? I don't know who that is. I see Emerson. Big up MCFC.
He's decaffeinated.
Cafu, I don't know who that is. Giannis Rublis says man of the match, Kulu, BDE, Davies, and Emerson. Love that one as well. Another vote for Davies and Emerson getting the BDE. Says I'm with Paul. Very good shout there.
That's it. That's it. Haaland's finding all about Haaland's girlfriend's finding all about that BDE right now.
Bless her heart. Someone better make sure Haaland's okay. Zapur says Royal over Dyer every day. Yep, I think that is true. MCFC says I think Haaland's overreacting a bit. If I'm honest, I don't think Grealish had the pace to get there. You know, that's always going to be debated. But I could see why he was upset in that moment. But for me, it was a LOL type of much like Luis Diaz and that goal the goal that never stood.
Yeah,
it's just like LOL. I don't know what else to say. I'm not going to be like.
That's the thing about football, though. It's like, you know, it's not perfect. It's kind of a bit shitty sometimes, but it's not a game like you know, rugby union. Maybe American football's like this. I don't know, but where if you've got a great team and a good team, the great team usually wins. Like in football, every dog has their day. There's always upsets, you know. Some team brings their, you know, passion or whatever, or intensity, and that gets them a result against you know, on paper, a good team that just their heart isn't in it that day. It's a real human game, and that was part of it. And I laughed my tits off when that happened.
Absolutely. I loved it. Big up Philly, not from Philly. He's in New York City. Says, I'm sorry, but Chicken Royale was, is, and always will be trash bin. Very nice. Love that. Look, that is going to do it for the show. But before, obviously, I say goodbye, I do have to give you my man of the match in BDE. I have yet to give that.
This is the thrilling climax, is it?
I mean, I tried to build it up that way. Paul. My man of the match,
Emerson.
as much as I want to give it to Son, I can't. I want to. I always want to.
You're such a fake fan. You're a fake fan.
That's,
if you
know
I know
what's funny is you texted me that after my prediction. You did text me that. And you know what? I'm exposing you. I'm exposing you right now.
I said you're a fake fan for predicting the draw, because you know what? If you'd have predicted 4-3, we would have won 4-3. That's how fucked you are.
Where is it? Yep, there it is.
Fake fan, yeah.
Hang on.
I'm exposing what Paul. Other messages. Just, you know, well, there we go. Fucking pussy fake fan, yeah.
He says 3-3. This was after my prediction on Weird Tottenham TV. He says,
yeah.
Fucking pussy.
Yeah.
3-3. Pussy fake fan is what he called me.
It's your fault we lost, man.
Yeah, I guess it is my fault. Well, there you go. My man of the match and my BDE. I'm giving my man of the match to a man whom I've had a lot of doubt for. To a man whom I'm still full screen. Holy shit. To a man that I've doubted, to a man I've given a lot of criticism for. No, it is not Giovanni Lo Celso. He's honorable mention for man of the match. I have to give it to Kulusevski. Game equalizer, dunking on Nathan Ake, hitting him with the fucking LeBron celebration. LeBron James. Are you kidding me? He hit him with the get your ass down. I'm about to dunk on you. That's what he did. So my man of the match absolutely has to go to Kulusevski. I've often criticized him as a winger, but what I have not criticized him harshly about is his play on the inside. I think moving him on the inside allows Brennan Johnson to play more free as a right winger, which is where he naturally wants to be. Kulusevski, all the things that he does well as a winger, which was defensive work, hold up play, etc., passing, like distribution, etc. He can do all that from the confines of in the midfield, and let Brennan Johnson be the one to stretch that back line. Let Brennan Johnson be the one to really push the extension of our line. So for me, Kulusevski, I fucking apologize. I was not familiar with your game, my friend. I doubted. I didn't see the vision. But you know what? Just because I don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. Shout out Footy Judge Mo. I said that to him on his very channel. I said, Mo, just because you don't see the vision doesn't mean that there ain't one there. And with Kulusevski, that is the same damn thing I'm going to say. Just because I didn't see the vision doesn't mean that there wasn't one with Kulusevski. So everyone who's stuck by your man, I'm going to start talking to him nicely. Kulusevski, I'm done being harsh to him. I've been harsh for too long. Maybe I should have loosened the reins. Maybe my tough love is what helped propel and excel him into the echelons of where he's at now. I'm going to choose that over the reality, which is him moving into a different position has made him, quite frankly, a different player. So,
well, I know he's a frequent viewer of the channel. I know you had to ban him a while ago.
Yeah, he did say some bad comments. Yeah, he was like United Frauds of America because I was like, Kulusevski, why'd you do that? But
Kulusevski, fuck you, I'm number 23.
Yeah, well, look, what I will say is, big up, man. He absolutely shut me up. Big up, Becky. Good to see you on over here. Again, if you are new from Footy Judge Mo, make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you are new. There's been a bunch of new names in the chat like this. Gary. Big up Gary. Kulu man of the match. Shout out for Hill for the effort and energy. Shame he's a bit lightweight. You know, like I said, I off the top, I thought he had a good 5 to 10 minutes in him. The first 5-10 minutes, I was like, okay, nice little dances with the ball, couple techies. The first goal he spun, I don't know whose ankle it was that he took, but he took someone's lunchbox and ankles, spun him, found Kulusevski. Kulusevski dishes it to Son. Son mwah, gives it the old mwah, and guess what? It is what it is. But yeah, Kulusevski's absolutely going to get my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely fabulous. My BDE, I'm absolutely giving it to the one and only Ange Postecoglou.
Yes, man.
Because to be quite frank, with that starting lineup, I said, okay, bro, thank you for showing me that you the man I thought you were. Thank you for showing me you are the man I thought you were. And then what else did he do after that? He said, I'm going to just change this because I didn't like the way that looked, and I'm going to do this a little here, a little bit of a little there, then a little there. Next thing you know, the broken music box is making some music, and we're listening to a nice, lovely tune. So honestly, Ange Postecoglou, my dog, BDE energy, to go to the Etihad against the man in whom some would say you grew your style under as a manager because of the ties with Citigroup, etc. But you know what? Wax on,
he was
wax
already
off.
doing this way before he joined Citigroup, man.
Well, that doesn't really help my outro, Paul, because I already said the opposite. When you come here and you bring factual information and it refutes what I've just said, that's not.
But you said some people said, and I thought you were going to disagree with it yourself. But okay, sorry. Fucking hell,
that was a broad assumption that I was making live on air because I did not watch him when he was with Yokohama. I did not watch him when he was managing Brisbane, Melbourne, whatever. I didn't watch him. I saw one game where he managed Celtic, and I've always said that. So I love what he did. I love that he proves me right. He validates my existence. Ange Postecoglou confirms everything that I'm feeling. And it's like, I feel this way. I need some reassurance. Next press conference, there it is. There it is. And that's all I've been looking for. He gets me. I feel like he gets Tottenham Hotspur fan base. Big up, Nate. I didn't mean to copy you. Big up, Bobby K. Big up every single time. Look, that's going to do it for the show. It's been absolutely a fun one. I'm going to send you on over to Flawless with Sarcasm City TV. So if you are looking for some content to digest, don't worry. It starts in 3 minutes. I thought he was starting about 5 minutes ago, but I'm going to send you all on over there. Look, but before I do that, I got to get final thoughts from the panel. Kuva, I haven't heard you speak in a moment. So let me hear your final thoughts. Just put a nice little bow on this show.
Yeah, today for me, it's the little pat on the back that the faithful needed amongst the Spurs fans. Those of us that said, it doesn't matter how dark it looks, there's still that little bit of sunshine that's coming through, and it's been brought to us by this manager, getting the team to just play his way, show us what bits they can do. We accepted that some of these players aren't good enough. Some of these won't be with us in the next 2 years, without doubt. But they gave us everything they had today, got a point at the reigning champions, best team in the world at the moment. And we got to enjoy it. The Ange train has come off the rails in that Chelsea game through injury and suspensions. We've slowly tried to get it back onto the rails, failed, but we were nearly there. I'd say we're back on the track now, but it's going to be a rough ride ahead still for another month. Come the new year, we'll be a little bit of new coal to go into the furnace, and I think we'll start building up a bit of momentum and finish the season strongly. If we get a few signings in there, we could be in for a very strong finish. And let's not forget, even if the league's looking out of our reach, which is it's going to be even longer shot than it was a few weeks ago now. There's still an FA Cup to play for, and there's still the future to play for. We're just going to see this continued improvement, and that's what this season was always going to be about. It was establishing the way we will play for the coming seasons and seeing which players are up to the job. Today, we started seeing some of these fringe players, perhaps they can be up to the job. And you've got to take the positives out of that. Lo Celso playing well, that is a great thing, because I thought he was finished at this club. If he's coming back and playing like that on a regular basis, I'm pretty cool with that. I think we're looking in good condition. So enjoy it for what it is. Still going to be a rough ride through December. We just don't have the numbers, do we? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And any more injuries, and we're in unbelievable crisis at that point. Some of these big names that we have now that we depend on. So let's hope all goes well and we've got past our period of bad luck, misfortune, mistakes by players that have been costly for us in the long run. And just look at the future. That's what it's all about. New year coming up. Supposed to have a big party at that point. I'll be looking at the transfer window coming up and some of our big name players coming. And it's going to be fun times. I'm enjoy where we're going with this club now.
Hell yeah, Kuva. Love that.
Great
That's
to
a
hear,
great
man.
final thought, man. There was a couple things I did want to add to, but you know what? You were just starting to you were spitting. So I was like, I ain't going to say nothing. I'm just going to let this man. There's a few things you said that I wanted to accentuate and speak on as well. But Paul, do you have any final thoughts before we head on out of here? Well, just put a nice little bow on your thoughts and your feelings after this, because you've had a sleep since then. I haven't gone to sleep yet.
No, I haven't, man.
You haven't had a sleep either.
No. That's why I've been drinking beer to get that beer buzz to keep me awake.
Okay.
Look, I've seen it throughout Ange's career, and I've seen it this year. The number of times I hear people say, "You can't do it this way. You can't do it. You can't play that kind of football against this kind of opposition." And where are those experts now? Who left is there that we can't do this against? Because I think we've kind of done it against everyone now. And we've done it with, a backup squad, a backup team. And, when we get our players back and maybe make a couple of transfers in and out of the place, the rest of the Premier League had better be fucking scared of us. I'm telling you that, man, because we're Tottenham Hotspur. And this is the way we used to play. And this is this is the way we're playing right now. Get used to it. There is no changing. There's no more excuses. There's no more room for any doubters to move now. We've done it against the best at their turf, and we're going to do it against the rest of the teams now. So, in Ange we trust, and peace and love, man, and come on you Spurs.
Hell yeah, I love that. Big up Paul with the Hotspur Hippie, and big up Kuva with 3 Spurs Boys. You can find their titles in the description of this video. Go click a like and subscribe over there. And big shout out to everyone who's still with us. Look, 170 likes. There's 186 votes. 16 people not liking, but 170 did. I'm going to focus on those beautiful 170 bastards that went and liked the video. So thank you so much for doing that. It is free to support the channel in that manner. I am going to end the poll. 34 votes is the winner. It says new Ange wouldn't let 4 L's happen. Look, they said you're crazy, Jacob. They said you're deluded, Jacob. They said, oh, just because you hope and you pray and you feel doesn't mean it's real. But what I will say is, weeks ago, when we took 2 L's back to back, I said, don't worry, Ange won't let 4 happen. So whether it's Villa, whether it's City, one of them not going to be a loss. My final thought is it's going to kind of be the same thing y'all have said. You've told me this, you've told me that, but what you didn't tell me was that you're going to be speaking to me so nicely, because it is time to speak to Tottenham Hotspur nicely. I say it yet again, with a depleted squad. We went to many people's predictions of the eventual champions. We got a fucking point playing our brand of football. Even with our healthy starting 11, they said, oh, don't do that at the Emirates. Well, guess what? We did. We did it on one fucking leg, one arm tied behind our back, and an eye patch like a damn pirate. We pulled up and did the damn thing. So if you don't have hope yet, it's okay. Again, people don't want to talk about the train, don't want to talk about the pool party we throwing over at the Ange Postecoglou house. But I'll tell you this right now, whether you're on or off, the train's moving. I don't even think, Kuva said it got derailed. I don't even think it got derailed. I think what it was is we had to come to an emergency stop because there was a damn sleeping cow on the tracks. And we had to stop, wake the cow up, get the damn cow off the tracks,
man.
And now we're starting to get the train rolling again. The train never stops. It may be slowing down for a moment just to remove a cow from the tracks, but the train never stops. Toot toot, motherfucker, is what I would say.
Let's go with the other analogy as well, Jacob, that we've been doing regularly. The Alamo's still standing today.
You can go see it right now.
Never forget.
Yeah,
The Alamo.
With the Alamo, they held out. And if we hold out to January, guess whose army is coming down?
G'day, Spurs fans. Paul Hotspur, hippie here. Shit.
Oh, now I'm gonna get
Sorry.
copyright. Now I'm gonna get hit with copyright because the Hotspur hippie's gonna say you used 3 seconds of my audio.
Yeah, fucking
And the whole
DMCA,
channel's getting
motherfucker.
demonetized. The whole channel's getting demonetized now. Look, I appreciate every single one of you who tapped in. We had at one point 260 people here. Absolutely phenomenal numbers. 170 likes. Y'all have absolutely blessed. Also want to say there's the Alamo right there. It is still standing. And those dudes in the Alamo had no chance in hell. But guess what? The Alamo's still there, baby. It's in America. I want to say thank you as well to Dermot with the super chat. Ash also had a super chat. I can't pull it up because I don't know, StreamYard, I want to be a hoe tonight. But thank you so much, Ash, our affiliate out there in India, for sending a super chat. And then also we had a new member sign up. I don't remember who it was. And then also David Shear sent a membership for 2 months. So big up. And thank you so much for the financial support. Again, the free thing, hitting a like and subscribe. Y'all have done that. If you haven't already, please do it on your way out. I will be sending you over to Sarcasm City TV. So go hit a like. Tell them United Spurs of America sent you. Subscribe and all that good stuff. But as always, folks, I want you to do a few things for me. Well, actually, before I do that, I was going to try and find some way to play a silly clip. But look, I'm just going to put it this way. Again, with Ainge Postecoglou, I've used this one a few times, but I still feel like it embodies how I feel about how I'm addressing folks, not really using the same respects for Ainge Postecoglou that maybe they should.
Stop playing with my fucking name. All 3 of y'all, stop playing with my name. I ain't going to say it no more.
That's going to do it for episode number 106 of the Untitled series on this, the day that we drew away at the Emirates when they said that we couldn't. So as always, folks, stay blessed, stay fresh, up the lads, and come on, you Spurs.
United Spurs of America, with your hosts, Michael and Jacob.